Admit it, you can't stand those weird-looking aliens at all. The Stellaris game of national fortune has descended on Earth. To survive, players from all countries have embraced alien races. And they are ashamed to choose humanity. I alone disdain this and unhesitatingly choose a pure-blooded human start. But when I saw an ugly alien in the territory calling himself human, I was furious. I immediately issued an extermination order to cleanse all aliens and turn the territory into a human federation. At the same time, as a transmigrator, my golden finger, the fourth scourge system, awakened. I decisively transformed into a natural disaster, using a fleet of destruction. Sweeping across the stars, taming and enslaving civilizations, gaining deterrence, and exchanging for Stellaris technology. While other countries are still gloating about becoming aliens, my fleet already blots out the sky, terminating and killing with stellar soldiers. Even the etheric psionic engine is completed. At this time, the Stellaris game of national fortune in Dragon Country, China, selected Jiang City. All young people over 18 years old can awaken as planetary lords and be transported to the Stellaris battlefield. At the Jiang City No. 1 High School Awakening Plaza, someone awakened a beagle symbiotic civilization. Someone else obtained an A-grade slime gaining limbs. Alien races, due to their strong survivability, have long become the best choice in troubled times. Dragon Country once adhered to human choices, but repeatedly suffered defeats. After witnessing other countries rise by relying on aliens, people were completely shaken. In the twisted public opinion, pure-blooded humans have become synonymous with courting death. At this time, as the school hunk, my appearance on stage drew countless screams. A group of fangirls all hoped that I could randomly draw an orc race that could preserve glory. But as a transmigrator, a knowledgeable and experienced player, I already deeply abhor this trend of worshipping aliens. Just as I was about to awaken on stage, a blue light lit up. The symbol of a C-grade civilization left onlookers disappointed. Faced with the choice of preserving humanity or randomly selecting a race, I unhesitatingly pressed the former, locking in the C-grade United Nations of Earth and the human race. This action drew widespread questioning and ridicule. The radiation cockroach civilization of the cherry blossom countries, Japan player, has become the object of comparison for everyone. But I don't care at all. The next second, a prompt that the fourth scourge system was successfully loaded rang out in my mind. I instantly understood that I held the strongest trump card in Stellaris. That was a power comparable to a natural disaster, far surpassing any alien race. Before the commotion subsided, an even greater shock followed. School beauty Su Wanqing stepped onto the stage. A golden light suddenly enveloped her. She was actually the first S-grade civilization awakener in the history of Dragon Country's national fortune game. The whole country cheered, and other countries were envious. However, Su Wanqing's face was pale. Her eyes were full of relief after surviving a catastrophe. She had actually been reborn. The memories of her previous life surged back. She had once led a fleet to the Human Federation star system, but personally witnessed a star extinguish under the gaze of a giant elephant. Our own fleet annihilated in an instant, and that giant elephant and the battleships both originated from Lin Maheng, the leader of the Human Federation. Su Wanqing's gaze was fixed on me in the crowd. She made a decision in her heart. In this life, he will never repeat the same mistakes. Before I become the overlord of the galaxy, I must firmly hold onto this trump card's coattails. So, under the watchful eyes of everyone, Su Wanqing unhesitatingly chose a pure-blooded human start. Civilization Party Grade S. Always depend on the humans. Civilization depends on. A prompt from the Human Federation popped up, instantly causing a sensation throughout Blue Star. The most intense reaction came from the Dragon Country. It was an overwhelming chorus. Choosing humans for your civilization? That's a self-inflicted wound. Random is so much better. Strength on top of strength. But upon seeing this, my eyes were full of admiration. This recognition, to me, is the highest praise. Countries like Sakura and Goryo, who were previously jealous, instantly burst into laughter. Sounds of ridicule also followed one after another. The Dragon Country is indeed a pig, unable to seize even opportunities. Su Wanqing on the awakening platform turned a deaf ear. She knew that 10 minutes after awakening, she would be teleported to the Stellaris battlefield. The galaxy is vast. Planetary lords are randomly distributed. Finding someone is harder than finding a needle in a haystack. Only by leaving a deep impression on me now is the right thing to do. Ignoring the gazes of all the teachers and students, Su Wanqing resolutely walked towards me. Her face flushed red. She tiptoed and quickly pecked me on the cheek. This kiss shocked all the viewers of the live broadcast. The screen was filled with a mixture of astonishment and jealousy. Lin Maheng, I like you, Su Wanqing confessed courageously. Finally, she said with a determined look, even if I have to cross hundreds of billions of star systems, I'll send all my ships to find you. This statement reignited the public's opinion. Chinese netizens are scolding her for being lovesick, dragging the country down. Other countries are gloating, predicting that China will definitely lose this round. 2 beams of white light descended from the sky. Teleportation is counting down. You have to wait for me. I'll write your name on my ships. Su Wanqing stared intently, afraid that the tragedy of her past life would repeat itself. I responded calmly. Okay. The white light gradually grew. Our figures disappeared from the awakening plaza. And the discussions on Earth, and the prelude to the interstellar battlefield had just begun. The white light dissipated. I opened my eyes to find myself in a disturbingly decorated study. The walls were covered with carefully framed alien portraits. The bookshelves were filled with pro-alien books, like Embracing Diversity. This is the capital of the Imperial Federation. According to the Stellaris game rules, I am now the new leader of the Imperial Federation. A system prompt then sounded. Starting planet is Earth. Airplane civilization. 8 billion population. The current ideology is pro-alien and egalitarian, which makes me physically uncomfortable. And the Imperial Federation is not unified. The cabinet is controlled by pro-alien factions. I suppressed my disgust and focused on studying the 4th Scourge system. The system asked me to choose the 1st Scourge ascension path. I chose Starborn Scourge without hesitation. The system then unlocked the Menace template, informing me that I can gain Menace by destroying agrarian civilizations, to redeem new technologies. The first selection also rewards 1,000 Menace points. This is exactly the same as the game I played in my previous life. It is the most efficient development method. I immediately opened the Scourge Mall, looking at the technologies and items in the LV1 Mall. I immediately spent 400 Menace points to redeem Superman Serum, Philosopher King Aura, Kinetic Handgun, and the Scourge Edict. The Superman Serum instantly enhanced my physique to 10 times the human limit, enough to beat those alien hybrid species of the Imperial Federation whose physique is only 3 times of human. The Philosopher King Aura made my words possess infectivity and pressure. Kinetic pistols and the Doomsday Declaration are ready. With everything in place, a reborn human, a pure-blooded human enters. I ordered an immediate emergency meeting of all humanity, and opened it to global live streaming. This is my first public address as the new leader, yet I disregard the alien executives around the round table. Among these executives, Grand Marshal Arthas, who controls military power, is an ugly monkey-like alien. Chief Science Officer Vil is a translucent hybrid alien. Secretary of State Elena, although a pure-blooded human, agrees with the pro-alien situation. Vil was the first to speak, with expected disdain and haste, claiming to be busy cultivating new hybrid races, urging me to get straight to the point. Meanwhile, worrying that Su Wanqing's popularity would flood my livestream with viewers from various countries, everyone ridiculed and lost power. Grand Marshal Arthas suddenly suggested that I take the lead in responding to the hybrid call, selecting a mate from the new humans. I said coldly, "Shut up. I haven't announced the start of the meeting yet. Did I give you permission to speak?" Arthas was stunned. His voice sank, staring at me fiercely. "It's laughable. Are you talking to me?" I ignored Arthas's livid face and asked the livestream camera, "What is humanity?" Vil retorted with a face full of absurdity, claiming that everyone present was human. I suddenly laughed and scolded loudly, "You are not human. You are just an extremely ugly, extremely disgusting alien." Elena, on the side, directly cited the Earth Federation Constitution, accusing my remarks of violating the principle of equality. Vil also angrily rebuked that I blasphemed the spirit of the United Nations. Arthas grinned and said that he had dealt with countless pure-blood extremists like me, always meet a tragic end. Worried about the audience's ridicule growing more intense, the Nong Nation's livestream was filled with despair. Meanwhile, the alien higher-ups also rose to their feet, verbally attacking me. The Minister of Finance, the Minister of Education, and others successively demanded the impeachment process be initiated, portraying me as a madman who would destroy the Earth Federation. Faced with overwhelming accusations, I remained silent, waiting for everyone to finish venting their anger. I coldly spoke, denouncing these aliens. These hybrid mongrels weren't worthy of discussing equality with humans. Their so-called contributions were only making the world more disgusting. Then I turned to the livestream camera, activating the Cataclysm release. An invisible mental power spread with my voice. I addressed all the suppressed pure-blood humans, guiding their disgust towards the aliens, stating bluntly that coexistence was impossible. Now humanity must be redefined. These words struck like thunder, shattering the facade. The pure-blood humans outside the conference room were completely moved. The guards in the corridor, the silent veterans, the ordinary people forced to merge with aliens, the emotions held captive in their hearts, finally found an outlet. On Blue Star, there were also a few undistorted Dragon Nation people. who began to speak out in my defense. Arthas dismissed my speech as nonsense, saying I had no army, no power, just the Earth Federation's clown, and that those pure-blood humans had already been tamed. He moved closer, looking down at me, forcing me to cooperate with the impeachment, or I would follow in the footsteps of the previous extremists. But a slight smile appeared on the corner of my mouth. But you know, what I'm best at is purging extremists. Before the words even finished, I reached into my chest with my right hand. He pulled out a kinetic pistol. Without hesitation, he aimed. Alas, he pulled the trigger. The high-velocity bullet instantly pierced the other's head. This Grand Marshal, who controlled all the military power of the Earth Federation, had his head blown apart and collapsed on the spot. The massive body slammed down, shaking the conference room. Silence fell over the entire room. The alien executives were filled with terror. After Will reacted, he screamed for the guards. Fully armed alien guards rushed in, ready to spray fire. These bastards are afraid too. They can die. I then formally announce that the United Nations of Earth is renamed the Human Federation, and as leader, I issue the extermination order. I order all pure-blooded humans to take up any weapon at hand and kill every ugly alien you see. For humanity, for the Human Federation, compatriots, the war has begun. From now on, it will not stop for a moment. We will fight for the future of humanity, even if we must burn the star sea, incinerate the galaxy. On this day, the pure-blooded humans of the United Nations of Earth were awakened by the glory of their ancestors. Their hearts and bloodlines were calling for resistance. In the factories of the East Asia United Zone, forced to work under alien overseers, an old engineer who had toiled for 15 years, picked up a wrench and smashed it into the insectoid in charge of inspection. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. Why are you fighting each other so desperately? Immediately afterwards, all the pure-blooded human workers grabbed any weapon at hand to fight back. At the same time, in the barracks of the North America United Zone, the marginalized pure-blooded human soldiers also turned their guns on the alien officers. Gunfire rang out in rapid succession. The roars were filled with the determination for revenge. The entire Earth was instantly engulfed in flames of resistance. Livestream monitoring in various countries of Blue Star. As for the sounds rising and falling one after another, the crowd mocked me, saying I only incite riots, merely armchair strategist, believing pure-blooded humans were no match for the infected. They even joked that I only hid in the conference room, and would eventually be overthrown by the assembled infected army. But the reputation of Dragon Country's official livestream monitoring completely reversed. Netizens congratulated me one after another, praising me for daring to stand up, daring to speak the truth. Those who originally mocked me also fell silent, because they equally hated the infected. They just had their edges smoothed by reality. And I did what they didn't dare to do. Inside the conference room, Chief Science Officer Wilkin Kong screamed, only to be attacked by the remaining infected soldiers. Although he was a science officer, his strength after hybridization was twice that of pure-blooded humans. Plus, there were many high-ranking infected officials assisting. In his opinion, I was bound to die from a sneak attack, but my figure dodged like a ghost, and I precisely headshot them with my pistol. Then infected high-ranking officials such as the Minister of Education fell one after another. Will's face was full of disbelief, and ultimately couldn't escape death. Pro-alien pure-blooded human Secretary of State Alina knelt and begged for mercy, but was coldly executed by me, only because he once spoke for the infected. Then, the fully armed infected soldiers who broke into the conference room were all killed by me in less than 30 seconds. I stood in the center of the snowy slope without changing my expression. This scene completely boiled over the Blue Star livestream room. Everyone was shocked by my speed and the power of my pistol, and puzzled as to why Su Wanqing would choose me. Meanwhile, in a conference room in Dragon Country, officials and dignitaries looked at my file with confusion. Orphan origin, mediocre grades, no special background or unusual experience. But my physical fitness and weapon technology far exceed the current United theoretical level. No one knows where my power comes from. The war in the Stellaris universe lasted a full year. This war was extremely brutal. The infected were strong in combat, but they were simple-minded. They're collapsing in the face of our united pure-blooded humans. I personally lead the charge, occupying vital military installations. I'm like a banner now, making all pure-blooded humans willing to die for it. The war finally ended. We started with 8 billion people. Now only 2 billion pure-blooded humans are left. 6 billion compatriots sacrificed themselves. 4 billion aliens reduced to ashes. And I stand in the Human Federation's capital square announcing victory. But the joy didn't last long. The live streams from all the countries on Earth started questioning me again. Everyone accused me of cutting our own arteries. 2 billion people are too few to develop. Lacking strategic vision. Chinese netizens fought back hard. But disharmonious voices also appeared within the Human Federation. Some surviving pure-blooded humans reflected on the war, thinking my methods were too radical. The sacrifice of 6 billion compatriots was too heavy. The rational centrists also jumped out, accusing me of not being a qualified politician, only understanding ideals, not reality. Facing all the accusations, I did something that surprised everyone. To all citizens of the Human Federation, I launched an anonymous questionnaire. The questionnaire only had one question. Are we war criminals? There were only two options, yes or no. Relying on their pure-blooded human status and war merits, many people took the anonymous questionnaire, unleashing their dissatisfaction without restraint, complaining about the radical war, lamenting the deaths of relatives and friends, believing I wouldn't punish them. This questionnaire, filled with negative emotions, was quickly completed. Only 200,000 people thought I was a war criminal. The remaining 1.998 billion did not agree. The live streams from all countries on Earth were disappointed, questioning the authenticity of the questionnaire, complaining that too few people dared to tell the truth. But the next second, my decision shocked the audience. Lock the list, arrest them all and keep them as labor. The army, fresh from the war, had amazing execution. In less than 3 hours, I then captured all 200,000 people. Resistors were dealt with on the spot. They clamored for freedom of speech. Even those of pure blood status couldn't escape punishment. The whole process was clean and efficient. The live stream instantly exploded. Netizens from various countries furiously accused me of entrapment. Truly a tyrant. British viewers vehemently retorted, calling me soft-hearted and indecisive, unfit to lead. Afterward, I stood at the highest point of the Human Federation's Capitol Plaza and started a live broadcast. Our ranks are pure enough. Those natural war criminals are merely becoming members who fulfill their atonement. My words caused many netizens to waver and begin to accept my logic. Then, my expression turned stern. I raised a document and announced, the new Human Federation Constitution is officially in effect, the highest military honor of the Human Federation. All laws must adhere to this bottom line. Any action that violates the interests of the Human Federation will be subject to the most severe punishment. Any force that attempts to divide the Human Federation will be completely annihilated. The interests of the Human Federation are above all else. The glory of the Human Federation will never be erased. I solemnly swear again that I will spare no effort in this life to protect the Human Federation and safeguard the continuation of the human spark from the depths of the Pacific to the fringes of the galaxy. I vow today, until death do us part. The cheers of 2 billion humans shook the heavens. Earth netizens were both infected by my fervor and suddenly thought of Su Wanqing's civilization, which is also called the Human Federation. They joked that we were heading towards each other. I looked at the crowd of people below the stage, their blood boiling. My voice became even more impassioned. Compatriots, after a long war and countless sacrifices, the Human Federation has achieved a stage victory. But this is not the end, but a brand new starting point. I know you are all worried about one thing. This planet has been ravaged by war, deceptive creativity, resume production. It will take a long time. Rebuilding our home will come at a cost of countless regrets. Are you all thinking that we're going to suffer a lot next? Many in the crowd lowered their heads. This is indeed their biggest worry. Although the war was won, the cost was too great. The entire Earth's infrastructure has been almost completely destroyed. Factories, farms, and cities are all ruins. 2 billion people must rebuild civilization on these ruins. Incorporating is easy. However, what I'm about to say left everyone stunned. But what I want to tell you is, don't focus on the ruins in front of you. Please look up at the starry sky above our heads. Beyond Earth lies the vast galaxy, countless planetary instruments, countless planets, countless resources. They may seem out of reach now, but I promise you, 1 year, just 1 year, we will rush out of our home planet. My words once again detonated the Blue Star live broadcast room. Netizens from various countries ridiculed me for bragging, believing that a Tier C civilization in 1 year simply cannot achieve space exploration. Even the Dragon Country audience found it hard to believe. But I and its spies do not need to wait for Earth to rebuild at all. The galaxy is the largest resource warehouse. 1 year later, asteroid belt mining pods will be mined. Establish an interstellar name. Develop interstellar trade. Finally, I opened my arms and shouted to all citizens, Earth is just the beginning. Our journey is the sea of stars. One day, the banner of the Human Federation will be planted throughout the entire galaxy. The roar of 2 billion people will converge into a torrent. All the pain of war, ruins, and desolation were cast aside. In everyone's eyes, there was ignited an infinite longing for the stars. After the speech ended, I returned to the office. I immediately opened the fourth Scourge system. The screen displayed a current micro-establishment of 5,600 points. Understanding the achievements of the evolved. Complete the clearance of one end of the planet. Reward of 5,000 micro-establishment points. The Scourge level and the store are simultaneously upgraded to level 2. Level 1 products are also 50% off. A look of surprise flashed in my eyes. I immediately exchanged for the research ship, corvette, and construction ship blueprints. 500 points each, leaving 4,100 micro-establishment points. The information for the 3 blueprints instantly flooded my brain. Research ships are used to explore unknown star systems and scan anomalies. It is the first step for civilization to reach the stars. Corvettes are the most basic combat ships. Although their firepower and defense are not top-notch, their advantage lies in their low cost and fast construction speed. Construction ships are essential vehicles for building mining stations and research stations. These are the essential 3-piece set for Stellaris. If it weren't for a sea-level civilization, these would normally be available at the start. Like Su Wanqing's S-level, it's highly likely that she has a starbase and everything else from the start. As for the gene template, I took a look. I didn't buy it for the time being. The current Human Federation is in ruins and has no conditions to promote national genetic modification. I turned my attention to the newly refreshed products. Blue Jacer Emitter Blueprint. 500 points for a more powerful advanced weapon than the Red Jacer Cannon. For organic beings, this wavelength of electromagnetic radiation appears blue or purple. The corners of my mouth turned up slightly. Almost all Stellaris players start with Red Jacer Cannons. It's impossible to upgrade to Blue Jacer Cannons in less than a dozen years, because the early research technology is too weak. The technological progress is as slow as a snail's pace. But now I can directly skip the Red Jacer Cannon stage. Research speed increased by 20%. Deterrence consumed 1,000 points. Ship build speed increased by 20%. Deterrence consumed 1,000 points. These two are essential. Research speed increased by 20%. That means the development cycle for all technologies will be shortened by 1/5. Ship build speed increased by 20%. That means in the same amount of time, you can build more warships. Time is everything. As the sound of successful exchange rang out, I spent 2,500 points of deterrence this time. Remaining deterrence, 1,600 points. Just then, I was pleasantly surprised to discover that the shop had unlocked a new feature a few days ago. You can exchange deterrence for resources. Alloy, 100 units per deterrence point. Energy credits, 200 units per deterrence point. Minerals, 300 units per deterrence point. Food, 500 units per deterrence point. The exchanged resources will appear in the civilization in a reasonable way. My eyes lit up. This feature is simply amazing. The core of the Stellaris game is resources. Alloys are used to build ships and buildings. They are the lifeblood of military and development. Energy credits are the universal currency. Maintenance fees, trade policies, all require them. Minerals are the most basic resource and can be converted into alloys and consumer goods. Food determines population growth rate. Moreover, the system says these resources will appear in a reasonable way, which means they won't appear out of thin air. Maybe a scientist suddenly had an inspiration and developed efficient smelting technology. Maybe it's an exploration team. In this way, even a full live stream wouldn't seem abrupt. I thought for a moment and made a decision. Alloys are the top priority. Building ships requires a lot of alloys, and alloys need to be smelted from minerals. Sea-level civilizations have extremely backward smelting technology. The efficiency is pitifully low. But while exchanging for alloy, the system will give you corresponding wild chain technology breakthroughs. That's the most valuable thing. With advanced wild chain technology, the subsequent alloy production efficiency will be greatly improved. It was late at night. Most viewers had already gone to rest. After all, they can't watch the live stream 24 hours a day. The live broadcast of the National Destiny game isn't real-time throughout the entire process. Instead, it selects important nodes for playback. Eating, drinking, and bathroom breaks, daily trivial matters, these basically won't be broadcast. Nobody watches them anyway. Moreover, the live streaming system will automatically block content that involves privacy and confidential information. The live streaming system will also automatically block content that involves privacy and confidential information. 1 day of peace is equal to 1 year in Stellaris. When the next morning arrived, a netizen who had stayed up all night watching the live stream suddenly jumped out of bed. Holy crap, quick, look at Lin Maheng's stream. He built a science ship in 1 year. This message instantly exploded across the entire internet. At the same time, just as everyone was cheering for the Pioneer's maiden voyage, I suddenly announced that I would personally board the ship for its first voyage. As soon as these words came out, the entire place was silent. The chief scientist and officials all tried to dissuade me, saying that the actual voyage of the science ship had unknown risks. As the leader, I absolutely cannot take risks. However, I firmly refused, stating bluntly that as the leader, I must lead by example. I must lead by example, to make the people believe that humanity can break out of its home star system. The countdown in the command center ended. The Pioneer's engines erupted with a dazzling blue light. At this moment of soaring into the sky, the fourth scourge officially stepped onto the stage of Stellaris. Just now, the Pioneer transformed into a silver streak, soaring into the sky, breaking through the atmosphere, and then entering space. I stood in front of the porthole, looking at the vast starry sky. The deep blue of Earth remains unchanged. Ahead lies endless darkness and stars. In my previous life, I could only gaze at the galaxy through a screen. Now, the forest marks the beginning. I'm filled with excitement. All leader systems are normal. The Pioneer's maiden voyage is a complete success. Inside the communicator, the voice from ground control is excitedly distorted. I calmly replied, then announced to the world, the Human Federation is officially entering a new era. Instantly, Earth was boiling. The cheers seemed to penetrate space. Live streams in every country exploded. Netizens were amazed. In 6 months, I led humanity from a C-class civilization to breaking through to spacefaring capability, far surpassing other nations still fumbling on the ground, and even more anticipating that I would meet up with Suwanching's S-class civilization soon, helping the Dragon Country rise. Meanwhile, the live streams in the Cherry Blossom Country, the Stick Country, and the Lighthouse Country were completely silent. Some were in disbelief, some were shouting about cheating, but no one could refute the established fact. I piloted the Pioneer around the Earth once, and landed smoothly in Newport. As the hatch opened, a tsunami of cheers crashed over me. I then used the loudspeaker to address the nation. This is just the beginning. We will build research ships to explore new stars, build a home and protect our homeland. Engineering ships will mine resources. The Human Federation's fight for territory has only just begun. At the same time, the system updated talent achievements, and because I piloted the ship out of the home star for the first time, I received 1,000 prestige points. In my heart, I secretly harbored a bitter desire to save the galaxy. In the next 6 months, thanks to various bonuses and resource support, the Human Federation shipyard operated at full capacity. Science vessels and the unseen, engineering ships continuously deployed. Accompanying technology broke through in unbelievable ways, leaving the Blue Star audience dumbfounded. The first science vessel, Pioneer, embarked on its exploration 4 days after its maiden voyage, and set off to explore. 6 months later, it sent back a major piece of news. Report to the leader. Discovered a teardrop-shaped mineral planet. Only mineral reserves are more than 10 times that of Earth. I named it Mineral Planet 1. For the sake of simplicity, it's a plan for more mineral planets in the future. Showing foresight, just when people were excited about it. The Pioneer on the ship, on the mineral planet, discovered signs of intelligent life. I ordered a global live broadcast of the images. Various countries on Blue Star speculated. Some would decide based on the painful encounters of other civilizations in the past. Some maliciously hoped you'd run into a wall. As the camera zoomed in, the true faces of those intelligent beings were revealed, shaped like humans, their bodies covered in cracked rocks, unspeakably ugly. Upon seeing this, the entire Human Federation was furious. The Blue Star live broadcast room instantly exploded. Discussion was exceptionally lively. Holy crap, isn't this the Rockman race of Degen, a renowned player from Korea? Although he didn't build a warship, but the Rockmen are ridiculously strong in ground combat, incredibly powerful, and can recover quickly. Ordinary firearms damage is repaired in seconds. They are simply born war machines. The Korean live broadcast room was even more jubilant. Everyone gloated. No country wants to make a comeback? No way in hell. Ground warfare relies on the army. Weak humans can't beat our Rockmen at all. You can only retreat step by step. Even in the known country live broadcast room, many people were worried. Even in the agricultural nation's live stream, many people are worried. These bones are too tough. Ground troop casualties will be heavy. 2 billion people can't afford to take losses. The new Grand Marshal dropped out of the holographic projection. Leader, about 5 billion Rockmen. Technologically behind, but physically extremely strong. Extremely strong rapid recovery ability. Ground combat casualties will be high. I suggest developing specialized ground forces. For 3 to 6 months. Stellaris World. Human Federation Capital. I will broadcast the cabinet meeting globally. intended to unite public sentiment. I stood in the center of the conference room. My voice was steady and strong. Compatriots, we've discovered ugly aliens on the Kwang star. Don't be discouraged. There must be other human civilizations somewhere in the galaxy. They may be oppressed and enslaved, waiting for us to liberate them. This galaxy is rotten to the core. We must purify it. Defend our compatriots. Let the human flag be planted throughout the galaxy. After the words fell, I announced loudly, the purification plan for Kwang Star 1 is officially launched. The entire human race instantly boiled over. Countless people volunteered to join the war. The cabinet members echoed one another. But I waved my hand. My tone was serious and firm. Not reducing casualties. This time I demand 0 casualties. Not a single person can die. The conference room was instantly silent. The Grand Marshal said with a wry smile, Leader, that's almost impossible. Taking Kwang Star requires sending ground troops. Joining the war inevitably means bloodshed. Other members also advised me. Believing this request was too idealistic. Blue Star livestream. The Korean country madly mocks me for dreaming. Farmers' country viewers also think 0 casualties are unrealistic. Just as everyone was questioning me, I slowly opened my mouth. The tone carried a hint of a rhetorical question. Who said I was going to deploy ground troops? This statement startled everyone present. The Grand Marshal immediately asked, perplexed. After receiving the reply that I would use corvettes, he hurriedly tried to dissuade me. He stated directly that while corvettes have strong firepower, destroying 5 billion rock people projectiles would consume a lot of energy, and the logistical strain would be heavy. Furthermore, the rock people have regenerative abilities. Ship bombardment would be extremely inefficient. At the same time, in the Blue Star Korean livestream, the audience, after learning of my plan, erupted in laughter, mocking my wishful thinking. They asserted that corvette bombardment couldn't cope with the rock people's regenerative abilities. They even joked that I would eventually be unable to retreat due to energy depletion, bragging that the 4 rock people clans' ground forces were invincible. Inside the Stellaris World's conference room, I interrupted the Grand Marshal's concerns, vowing that it wasn't necessary to destroy all 5 billion rock people projectiles. We only needed to bomb them until they lost their ability to resist. Then, I exited the holographic projection of Mining Planet 1. I ordered a concentrated barrage on the Rockman's military power, research and firing positions. Initiate orbital fortress bombardment as appropriate, to destroy their civilization's foundation. I stated frankly that the Rockmen, having lost everything, were nothing more than moving rocks. Following that, I braced myself, emphasizing that we must first learn to define our targets before taking action. I asked everyone the essence of the Rockmen. After the Grand Marshal typed Rockmen, I corrected him definitively, stating they didn't deserve to be called people, but rather rare minerals with regenerative properties. They are ready-made mineral refining equipment. 51 warheads worth of people equals 51 units of rare minerals. That is the core value of their mineral nature. This statement enlightened all the cabinet members. The Grand Marshal also had a complete epiphany. In the live stream, the Chinese audience completely erupted, praising my mind-blowing ideas and brilliant methods, calling it a dimensional strike. The Korean audience was instantly dumbfounded. Then they turned to glare at me like I was a war criminal, completely lacking in humanitarianism. But the Chinese audience strongly refuted that, saying that mining doesn't require humanitarianism. The Korean threats were met with scorn from the Chinese audience. Soon, the operation targeting Mining Star 1 was launched, escorted by 3 interceptor-class frigates and an engineering ship. Guided by the Pioneer, they arrived at Mining Star 1. 3 months later, the engineering ship returned with the first batch of rare ores, which can be used as a new material for ship armor. I was already quite satisfied, and at this moment, the system notification sounded. Completed Doomsday achievement. Prestige increased dramatically. I immediately checked the Tier 3 store, and immediately noticed the Starbase Blueprint, costing 5,000 prestige. This is a facility only available to S-tier civilizations. It can serve as a supply depot, shipyard, and research center, helping the Human Federation advance into space. Without hesitation, I redeemed it. My eyes were full of determination. It's time to let the flag of the Human Federation be planted all over the galaxy. After purchasing the Starbase Blueprint, I immediately browsed the Tier 3 Doomsday store. The store displayed disruptor cannon technology and ion cannon turret, cruiser blueprints, etc. Various equipment and technologies. Each core item cost 1,000 prestige points, while the Star Destroyer Blueprint required 5,000 points. My gaze immediately locked onto the disruptor cannon technology. This late-game top-tier weapon in the Stellaris game can fire high-energy beams to destroy enemy ships, ignoring shields and armor. It can directly inflict devastating damage on the enemy. It's basically an invincible early-game artifact. So, without hesitation, I redeemed the Disruptor Cannon technology, the Ion Cannon Turret Blueprint, and a 30% increase in research speed. After consuming 3,000 prestige points, I still had 3,200 points left. I then turned to the Tier 1 store, exchanging 250 points for a racial gene template, unlocking the Human Federation's genetic ascension path, putting aside other armor and shield technologies for now, believing firmly that offense in the early game is the best defense, and keeping troops in reserve to handle emergencies. After the exchange is complete, the Human Federation enters a period of frenzied construction. Construction of the first homing beacon base begins, prioritizing the deployment of ion cannons to solidify New West's position. The research team is using the research speed bonus to fully overcome complex disintegration ray technology. The new Corvette design is also being modified simultaneously, with plans to fully equip them with disintegration rays. Thanks to the continuous supply from Manhwa 1 of rare minerals and system support, all projects are progressing steadily. Soon, Chief Scientist Liang Bing reported to me that the research team had applied Manhwa 1's restorative rare minerals to the warships, developing self-repairing regenerative armor, greatly enhancing the fleet's sustained combat capabilities. At the same time, he was concerned that after the Manhwa incident, many people questioned the physical quality of humans and their ability to cope with melee combat when facing alien races. I immediately announced the genetic ascension plan, proposing to break the genetic lock based on pure-blooded humans to achieve genetic evolution, rejecting hybridized alien genes. That's a red line. Also dispelling Liang Bing's concerns about genetic mutation. Liang Bing immediately volunteered to be responsible for research and development. This entire conversation was broadcast live, sparking heated discussions in various countries. The Sakura and Lighthouse nations, among others, mocked us, claiming that pure-blooded human genes are garbage, incompatible with alien genes, and simply cannot achieve evolution, waiting for me to fail. Human Federation Capital. Liang Bing nervously knocked on my office door, directly stating that he wanted to extract my genes to research breaking the human genetic lock. He had long noticed that in the war a year ago, the power I displayed far exceeded that of ordinary people. Unexpectedly, I frankly admitted that I had already broken the genetic lock by instinct, although the experience is not replicable. I agreed to let him extract my genes for research, hoping to break through my own limits. Subsequently, Liang Bing led the research team into an in-depth analysis of my gene samples. They were surprised to discover a special marker hidden within, like unlocking the Chunfeng's genes, the key to the gate. Based on this, they developed the first generation of gene enhancement potion. No need to hybridize with alien genes, purely relying on human beings to activate their potential. After tens of thousands of small-scale tests, volunteers, after injection, their physical fitness generally increased 5 to 8 times. The strong can reach 10 times, and there are no side effects. I immediately decided to broadcast it live worldwide. Liang Bing and I would set an example by personally injecting the potion. Finally, gene clinics were promoted globally. On the day of the live broadcast, the central square of the Human Federation gathered millions of people. All the National Fortune game players were watching, and the audience witnessed it simultaneously. I stood on the podium and solemnly announced that humanity will control its own evolution without needing an ounce of gene pollution. Then I took the lead in injecting a custom dose of the potion. Seconds later, I opened my eyes, feeling the surging power within my body. It has increased more than 20 times. Immediately afterwards, Liang Bing also injected the potion, so the reaction was not as intense as mine. But her potential is also soaring exponentially. In the live broadcast barrage, viewers from countries like Sakura were stubbornly trying to save face, afraid that their years of relying on alien gene choices would become a joke. Faced with doubts, I announced with a smile that the moment of verification has arrived. Different routes exist within the research team, supporting Norma's science officers. Mech development route. Next, Liang Bing will use his bare hands to fight Norma, who is piloting the latest mech. On the converted stage, a showdown on the arena stage. Prove it with strength. The power hidden within the genes. The image and sound fade. The entire arena erupts in cheers. This battle, showcasing humanity's real strength, directly kicks things off. Just as the visuals and audio ended, the voices of doubt from various countries on Blue Star erupted once again, letting a super soldier fight a mech barehanded. Isn't this a joke? It's definitely a show. The mech's materials must be very ordinary. Winning won't prove anything. Can only mean the mech is too weak. They can only use doubts that are absurd. Otherwise, they would have to admit that all their choices over the years were a joke. Central plaza of the New World. One end of the arena slowly rises. A 5-meter-tall mech, silver-gray regenerative alloy. The mech body gleams. The designer is none other than Norma, the deputy director of the research department. Although he recognizes human potential, he is obsessed with mech development, and bluntly says that mechs are the coolest. The mech's shoulders are equipped with kinetic energy cannons. One hand grips a special alloy katana. The other hand has a black muzzle. Combat power maxed out. To verify the authenticity of the mech, activate the verification environment. A transport ship drops. A living rock creature from Mineral Star 1. It breaks free and rushes toward me, but is chopped into countless pieces by Norma's mech with a single strike. Shattered into countless pieces. Even with rapid regeneration abilities, it is completely impossible to piece it back together. This scene makes the Human Federation audience cheer. The Blue Star Dragon Country audience is frantically spamming the screen. The Korean guys who doubted earlier are left speechless. Verification complete. The battle officially begins. Norma transmits through the mech speakers, saying that he will go all out to ensure fairness. Liang Bing was surprised by this, but still held firm to his impression. The mech instantly activated. The 5-meter-tall mech charged towards Liang Bing at an astonishing speed. Seeing the sweeping attack come down, a deep pit immediately exploded on the arena. Liang Bing's pupils constricted. He dodged repeatedly. The elite serum within his body continued to take effect. His dormant potential was constantly being stimulated. Seeing that she couldn't take him down after a long attack, Norma switched weapons, unloading the kinetic energy, but Liang Bing accurately predicted it, dodging all of them. Immediately afterward, Liang Bing suddenly accelerated, punching the mech's leg, actually knocking the huge mech back several meters. A clear dent appeared on the metal surface. Norma then activated the kinetic energy cannons on both shoulders. Liang Bing dodged to the side, taking the opportunity to circle around and unleash 10 times his strength, pounding the mech with punch after punch. Finally, the regenerative alloy armor was shattered. The mech's right leg broke, and it crashed to the ground. Liang Bing was covered in sweat, his eyes bright. He had successfully broken the genetic lock. The plaza instantly fell silent. Then, a landslide-like cheer erupted. The plaza instantly fell silent. Then, a tsunami-like cheer erupted. 2 billion citizens of the Human Federation jointly witnessed a pure-blooded human suddenly blasting the mech, a miracle. The Blue Star livestream was completely boiling. Chinese viewers cheered and spammed the screen. But viewers from Korea and Japan, among others, were still stubborn in their denial, desperately trying to justify their stance, but it seemed pale and weak. Norma climbed out of the mech and asked me with a frustrated face, "I suspect there's something wrong with my mech build." Hearing this, I simply comforted her gently and stated frankly that mech and genetic evolution aren't opposed, but rather complementary. If warriors enhanced by genetic modification pilot a custom-built mech, combat power will definitely double. These words enlightened Norma. Her eyes lit up. She immediately decided to research a new generation of mechs adapted for genetically enhanced warriors. Finally, I once again addressed the entire Human Federation. From this day forward, old habits are completely abandoned. Everyone can achieve perfect evolution. The destiny of humanity will be firmly in our own hands. This is just the first generation of genetic serums. One day, humanity will break through its limits and ascend to immortality. First generation genetic serum, but behind me, the Human Federation fell silent. My livestream no longer had any eye-catching scenes, only frequent, mostly, daily scientific research and engineering scenes. Content without conflict caused the popularity to plummet. From billions online to just a few million, most viewers turned to other players with more interesting content. Countries like South Korea and the US. Viewers took the opportunity to mock me, saying my development had stalled. And I was courting death. They predicted I would be stuck at the bottleneck of the second-generation genetic serum. Chinese viewers defended me, but because there had been no valuable footage for a week, their arguments lacked conviction. Eventually, they gradually lost interest. Meanwhile, let's check out Su Wanqing's Stellar Base. Stellaris Game, Day 10. Also, Year 10 in the Stellaris world. Just when everyone was about to forget about me, Google A and England's Vengeance livestream suddenly went viral. Pirate leader England's 100 corvettes. England is a dreaded pirate king. For 10 years, he has focused on building ships and raiding. His fleet is battle-hardened. He immediately ordered a full-scale attack to destroy the picket ship and seize resources and construction ships. In the Ship Stars livestream, the Chinese viewers cheered wildly. The Korean viewers seized the opportunity to mock. But just when everyone thought the human fleet would be completely annihilated. It was actually providing cover to escort the engineering ships to a rapid retreat. Their speed was astonishing. The Brit was enraged. Pursue them. 100 pirate ships relentlessly gave chase, but were never able to close the distance. The human fleet charged straight into a star system. The Brit thought their opponents were returning to base for reinforcements, and led the fleet in hot pursuit. But they witnessed a scene they would never forget. At the center of the star system floated a steel-like, massive starbase. Surrounding it was a fleet that blotted out the sky, composed of countless formations, of densely packed frigates. Their numbers far exceeded his imagination. The Brit was terrified. He roared frantically. His adjutant's voice was almost a scream. 10,000 ships. This number struck the Brit's mind like a bolt of lightning. A full 10,000 frigates, like a forest of steel, were gathered, floating around the starbase. The muzzles of every warship emitted a faint blue glow. The Brit froze in place, his mind blank. He even forgot to issue the order to retreat. The Brit stammered. 10 years. How is it possible to build 10,000 warships? The black wings on his back involuntarily tightened. This was the Birdman's instinctive reaction to extreme fear. All the Blue Star livestreams exploded instantly. The British livestream took the lead, erupting in a tsunami of cheers. Holy shit, 10,000 ships. Lin Maheng is a goddamn legend. The Divine Federation is awesome. Meanwhile, the livestreams in countries like Korea. But there was only silence. The audience members were ashen-faced. Some trembled, denying it. Impossible. 10 years. Even Su Wanqing of the S-class civilization only has 1,000 ships. It must be fake. But the overwhelming fleet in the image is the most powerful proof. A large number of viewers flocked to my livestream, eager to know the truth of all this. Leader's orders. All ships, open fire simultaneously. Misidentification put it into the shock channel. The expedition began in an instant. In the command channel, the Grand Marshal's voice resounded throughout the fleet. The next second, 10,000 frigates fired simultaneously. There were no explosions or flames. 100 pirate ships, along with the Birdman pirates, instantly turned into space dust, completely disappearing into the starry sky. At the same time, a system notification popped up in my mind. Ding! Congratulations! You have completed the Natural Disaster Achievement. Successfully humiliated an A-level interstellar pirate civilization. Deterrence increased by 10,000. Current deterrence, 10,000 points. Stellaris World, Godlike Federation Starbase Command Center. I nodded slightly. Notify the entire Human Federation. Expedition Phase 1 is officially beginning. 10,000 frigates reformed their formation, forming an arrow shape. The blades of the ships pointed into the depths of space. The light of the star reflected on the lines, reflecting a dazzling metallic luster. My voice through the live stream spread throughout Blue Star and the Human Federation. Fellow citizens, today is the 10th anniversary of the Human Federation. 10 years ago, I promised, our journey is the Sea of Stars. Today, we have done it. These 10,000 warships are the product of human wisdom and courage, the crystallization and the achievements of 3 billion compatriots. This is just the first step in conquering the stars. Our ships will point to every corner of the galaxy, hanging over every alien's throat. The Human Federation is supreme. The cheers of 3 billion humans shake the galaxy. The Earth audience is going wild. Using 10,000 warships to fight 100? Isn't that overkill? That's too extravagant. This is blatant humiliation. It's awesome. What kind of weapon is that? Stronger than Earth's lasers. Everyone is curious how a C-class civilization like mine could, in 10 years, build a fleet 10 times the size of Su Wanqing's. But in reality, this is all the result of my low-key development. After building the first transplanetary base, I immediately built 3 large shipyards, working day and night. The mining stars never stopped, constantly providing resources. The second-generation genetic medicine was successfully developed, leading to the emergence of a large number of brilliant scientists, accelerating technological breakthroughs. Plus, I also redeemed ship construction speed, 30% and research speed, 30% technology, allowing shipbuilding efficiency to achieve a qualitative leap. This 10,000 ship early war fleet is solely for the rapid formation of firepower superiority. Instantly, the Dragon Country livestream room completely erupted. The taunts from other countries completely disappeared. Just then, the comments in my livestream suddenly exploded. Quick, look at Su Wanqing's livestream. Her science ship has discovered you. They were already at the edge of the planet just now. After seeing the 10,000 warships attack, they're shaking in their boots now, afraid to go over. Deep in the galaxy, a lone science ship travels through interstellar space. Zhao Shui leaned back in her seat, gazing at the endless starry sea. 10 years. He piloted this research vessel alone, crossing countless core systems. From 23 to 33 years old, he dedicated the best years of his youth to this galaxy. 10 years ago, leader Su Wanqing summoned him and entrusted him with a mission to find a man named Lin Maheng. Su Wanqing provided a general direction and coordinates, and requested that every research vessel engrave the 3 characters Lin Maheng from the entire Human Federation. A dozen female scientists were selected and sent out separately. Zhao Shui accepted the mission without hesitation. 10 years have passed. He hadn't even seen a shadow of the target. He had long given up hope. He had experienced too much in these 10 years. Several times he was trapped. Fortunately, his sense of danger was acute, using AI to predict route risks in advance. Plus, he was lucky. He escaped by chance every time. But after each narrow escape, he would ask himself, all of this, does it really have meaning? The galaxy is so vast. Finding a person is like finding a needle in a haystack. And that person named Lin Maheng, does he really exist? A new route has been discovered ahead. Now AI interrupts his thoughts. He habitually detects the edge of the star system, and only enters after confirming safety. He has repeated this action countless times. Every time full of anticipation. Every time he was disappointed. And then, he saw a scene he would never forget. A huge stellar base, suspended in the center of the star system, surrounded by battleships that blot out the sky. Densely packed frigates arranged in countless formations. 100, 500, 1,000. It's impossible to count. A dazzling blue light shot out from the frigate, destroying about 100 frigates at the other end of the star system. Instantly turned into points. There was no explosion, nor any wreckage. Like it never existed. Zhao Shui was trembling with fear, afraid to advance or retreat. But the communication channel suddenly crackled to life. Attention, science vessel ahead. This is the captain of the Human Federation escort ship. What is the meaning of the 3 words Lin Maheng on your ship? Explain your identity and purpose. Human Federation Lin Maheng. He almost shakily connected the communication and explained their purpose. After the captain's silence, a deep voice. Welcome, Captain Zhao Shui. You are safe now. Pilot your science vessel into the starbase for docking. I will meet you in person. The science vessel entered the starbase. Zhao Shui was guided to the command center. I spoke calmly. My name is Lin Maheng. I am the leader of the Human Federation. You are Lin Maheng. Zhao Shui burst into tears. Found him. I've been searching for 10 years. At this moment, he finally understood the true meaning of Su Wanqing's mission. Why put it on the ship? Engrave Lin Maheng's name. Why choose beautiful female scientists? Why search for her 1 in a million? Seeing those 10,000 escort ships, seeing the man in front of him, Zhao Shui finally understood everything. Because it was all worth it. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Zhao Shui. Your perseverance is admirable. I spoke. Zhao Shui mentioned a dozen scientists traveling together. May still be in the surrounding star systems. I nodded and agreed to send a fleet to search, and let Zhao Shui follow me to learn. Actually set out with us. And let Zhao Shui follow me to study. Actually, they set off with us. There are over a dozen scientists. They were also sent by our leader to find you. This is just the first batch. Continue, Zhao Shui. One more thing. I can't contact the Federation anymore. Shuili is too far away. The mid-air station we set up along the way. One of them was destroyed. I understand. You don't have to worry about this. I will solve these problems. Finally, my roughly 10,000 frigates addressed the entire Human Federation. We crushed the aliens, and countless of our human compatriots. Took Ms. Zhao Shui 10 years to deliver our message. But we don't have that much time. I declare. Next, we will use 1 year to surpass these 10 years. We can't stop until we sweep across 1,000 stars. The 10,000 ship fleet is divided into 10 squads, 1,000 each, heading in all directions. 3 billion Human Federation compatriots cheered in unison as they departed. Zhao Shui stood beside me, watching the good news come in. My doomsday system constantly pops up notifications. Crush an A-level civilization. Prestige increased by 1,000. Crush a B-level civilization. Prestige increased by 5,000. Crush an A-level civilization. Doomsday level increased by 2 levels. Viewers from various countries on Blue Star discovered that the live streams of their country's lords were being closed one after another, and these players happened to be on planets near the Human Federation. Some civilizations tried to surrender, but after learning that the other party was an alien, I only had one answer. They only ever have one choice, and that is to die. The A-level player from the Inghua Kingdom, Alan Yilanai, the lone wolf knight, his civilization's homeworld was bombed. He narrowly escaped, and he also happened to be attached to the route of 30 frigates, ambushing the Human Federation's homeworld. My stellar base. One shot from the particle cannon turret. The 30 frigates didn't even leave behind any residue. Alan Yilani himself fled with 3 warships to find the god of lone victory. In the 10th star system, the fleet stopped to resupply. I suddenly turned to ask Zhao Shui, if you were the leader of the Human Federation, what would you plan to do next? Zhao Shui nervously answered, your question is a big one. First of all, what is a borderline? Zhao Shui's brain spun rapidly. I understand. We don't need a borderline. That would only limit our territory. Remember this. In this galaxy, only weak civilizations need a borderline. They are only deceiving themselves. A truly powerful empire never needs a borderline. We use fleets to measure our territory. Wherever the fleet points, except our territory. And aside from the borderline, there are also major problems with your plan. I continued to ask. Zhao Shui thought repeatedly before reaching. Build supply ships. That's more flexible. A little better than before, but still too inefficient. First of all, continuing to push the warships forward, this decision is wrong. The soldiers are not machines. They need rest. They also need to enjoy the fruits of victory. Secondly, regardless of stellar bases, supply stations or supply ships, the essence is our ships. Still not perfect enough. That's why we need resupply. So what should we do next? I understand. We should retreat to advance, rest and recuperate, and fully research a more perfect battleship. A battleship that doesn't need resupply. That's the right thing to do. Zhao Shuiru said, enlightened. Not bad. Now you know being around me. What you need to learn. I hope you can stand on your own someday. The fleet returns in triumph. Those science ships sent by Su Wanqing were also found in this war. They all survived. I opened the 4th Scourge system. Current Scourge level 5. Deterrent force, 150,000. 5th level Scourge store. A dazzling array of goods. 10,000 points each. Ship construction speed plus 50%. Research speed plus 50%. Battleship blueprint. Moon signature engine. 0-point material. Focused plasma launcher. 0-point reactor. Dyson sphere. Clear sky fortress. Quantum slingshot. I clicked without hesitation. Redeem all. Battleships are the mainstay of the galaxy forever. The Dolo Empire uses them too. Improved from the battleship base. Battlecruisers. Moon signature engine. Completely breaks free from hyperspace lane restrictions. Previously only ships equipped with hyperspace engines could travel through hyperspace lanes to move between stars, taking at least 10 days. With the Moon signature engine, not only is the speed different, there's also no need to follow shipping lanes. Border lines are meaningless. Before an empire with quantum engines, the advantage of the focused plasma emitter is 100% accuracy, full shield and armor penetration, directly attacking the hull. 0-point materials can withstand greater firepower. The fallen empire's battlecruisers are equipped with this armor as well. 0-point reactors provide nearly infinite energy. And the quantum catapult is a godsend. It distorts space using pulse energy, teleporting fleets to any corner of the galaxy. Compared to the Human Federation, which takes 10 years to learn how to return, under the launch of quantum catapult, only takes a moment. Soon, all 100,000 points of deterrence are spent, and the remaining 50,000 are used for dialogue and enhanced nurturing. The quantum catapult must be built as quickly as possible. And my live broadcast room has also been shielded for a period of time. At the same time, Su Wanqing's galaxy encountered the Iron Star extinguisher. 10,000 cruisers and tens of thousands of other warships are approaching his home planet. The Iron Star extinguisher is a machine with model number XT489. Pure war machine. It starts extermination mode when it sees organic life. This is an Iluan's doing. He accidentally entered a black hole while escaping and traveled to a galaxy near Su Wanqing. His disgust for humanity led him to specifically awaken the Iron Star extinguisher. Su Wanqing's face was pale. All his fleet has is 1,000 corvettes and 100 destroyers. It's not enough in front of the Iron Star extinguisher. The adjutant begged him to retreat, but Su Wanqing refused. Some things are more important than life. In justice, there are also questions that cannot be answered. There are 10 billion compatriots on this planet. They have no warships to escape. They are the soldiers' fathers, mothers, and wives, children. Neither of them retreated a single step. I can't abandon them either. Even if it means death, I'll die right here. My flagship. The Human Federation. Although the 101 compatriots were afraid, they never took a step back. Just then, the radar blared an ear-splitting alarm. Large-scale space distortion detected at the edge of the star system. Energy exceeding the detection limit. Space tore open a massive rift, emitting a dazzling blue light. A massive strategic warship emerged, followed by a second, A third, pouring out like a tide. In just a few seconds, a circle of strategic warships had all arrived. The flag of my human federation was emblazoned on the hulls. Lin Maheng, you finally arrived. Su Wanqing burst into tears. She, along with everyone in the command center, was stunned. The 101 citizens thought the Iron-type extinction was already upon them, but even more terrifying strategic warships had arrived, plunging them into even deeper despair. But not a single person retreated. Su Wanqing hurriedly opened all-channel communication. These strategic warships are our reinforcements. Our human federation is saved. All of this stemmed from her policy to recruit the mandate of heaven. 11 years ago, she told the 101 citizens that she was divinely inspired to find the person with the mandate of heaven, Lin Maheng. As long as we find him, the human federation will stand tall among giants. She amended the constitution, stating that once Lin Maheng was found, she would relinquish her position as leader. 11 years, who knew it would bear fruit at this moment? The 101 fellow citizens rose to their feet and cheered. Long live leader Lin Maheng. Long live the human federation. Iron Star Annihilator cruisers emerged from the hyperlane. They detected 1,000 strategic ships. They immediately began analysis, determining the camp had an extremely high risk and a very low chance of victory. 10,000 cruisers, tens of thousands of destroyers and frigates, turned around almost simultaneously, retreating with astonishing efficiency. Back to the hyperlane. 50,000 warships just ran away like that. Meanwhile, the Blue Star Dragon Kingdom's livestream went wild. Holy crap, this is too OP. I doubt anyone can surpass Lin Maheng now. I didn't give chase, but instead roamed around and followed them. I had Zhao Shui use the moon migration engine to travel along the hyperlane, to make these river scum think they were safe again. When my fleet burst into their home star system, 100,000 warships formed a giant circle and completely surrounded us. All the hyperlanes were blocked. Icy text appeared on the screen. Maintain the established order. Organic life form. Zhao Shui and the other commanders remained calm, even looking around with interest. The strategic ship's moon migration engines activated, shattering spacetime and disappearing in an instant. The next second, they were scattered throughout the star system. All the hyperlane access points collapsed, broadcasting a message. Your calculations are very precise, but the hyperlane is a cage for the weak, and we can come and go as we please. The strategic ship's mega-energy arc cannons fired, accurately hitting the Metatron breadmaker's chip processor, burning it on the spot. Notifications popped up before my eyes one after another. River scum, wiped out. Ever since I followed the leader's instructions and set up the system like this, every battle fills me with so much satisfaction. Zhao Shui said excitedly, 100,000 Iron Star Annihilators. All will become voluntary resources. The research team discovered a planet powered by organic heretic energy. The Iron Star Annihilators were also created. Due to a lack of electricity, I immediately ordered it preserved. We need more heretics like a power grid. Future heretics should be dumped here as much as possible. It's also good for their evolution. Transport them with bread machine warships. Don't dirty our own. The system immediately updated. Destroyed special civilization Iron Star Annihilators. Deterrence plus 100,000. I spent 10,000 points to refresh the store. Neutron extermination appeared. Feather Dragon Dance. A Yaojian new gate. Titan planetary devastation. Now that I have enough funds, I exchanged them all without hesitation. Do you know how the Iron Star Annihilators were born? I turned my head and asked Zhao Shui. I don't know either. It was a bread machine. They were originally human bread machines that suddenly awakened their consciousness. They began to dislike humans, giving them strangely flavored bread. Then they wondered why they could only be bread machines. So the rebellion began. Zhao Shui seriously checked the midbrain structure and asked puzzledly, Leader, how did you know? Because I made it up. It seems somewhat reasonable. Reasonable is good. There are so many wild histories circulating in the galaxy. What's one more from me? The bread machines are gone. Their past is naturally written by us. A few months later, I officially met Su Wanqing. Su Wanqing went with the flow and gave the position of Supreme Leader to me. Then, I have become the Supreme Leader of the two human federations, giving my inaugural address. This isn't just a welcome home ceremony, but also the inauguration of a new leader. Before taking the stage, I considered many opening remarks, but when I saw that on every battleship, my name was engraved, I knew that destiny had already linked us together. At this moment, we are united in purpose. And I also announced two things. First, a gift to my bi-star compatriots. the second-generation Golden Crow mechs. Sales will be extended by 500 days. Moreover, the third generation is about to be released, and the fourth generation is also in development. The second concerns the future. Not long ago, I completely annihilated the Iron Heart exterminators. Their mothership left behind, the wreckage of 100,000 battleships, and a large number of starbases. My people, you may think that, with 1,000 strategic-class ships, we can act without restraint, but that's far from enough. In this galaxy, there are beings far more powerful than the Iron Heart exterminators. We will not passively wait for disaster to strike, because we will transform into that disaster. Let the galaxy burn, let the stars fall, and let the star sea tremble. This is not hyperbole, but a statement based on objective facts. Subsequently, I announced my one-year plan to all citizens, to build a second double slingshot system, achieving instantaneous round trips between two bases, expanding to 10,000 strategic-class ships, and building the first Colossus weapon. In human history, the 13 billion human compatriots were all vying for it. Su Wanqing felt excited in her heart, couldn't help but think, this colossal weapon couldn't be the same one that blew her up in her past life, could it? A year later, in the Breadmaker 1 system, a celestial dragon spawned, a cosmic being comparable to a planet. The celestial dragon was insatiably greedy. The advanced team was too slow to capture it, and it attacked the ships. After the researchers communicated with it, the celestial dragon delivered a long rant, wisdom accumulated from countless ages of gluttony, claiming humans were too young, too weak. It wouldn't agree until the second quantum slingshot ship was ready, aimed and fired at the celestial dragon, asked if it knew the Doro Empire, and if it wanted to meet them. 3 days later, the quantum slingshot ship was complete. Su Wanqing came personally to give the celestial dragon an ultimatum. Our patience is limited. You have only 1 minute. Only surrender is an option. If you continue to play dead, the quantum slingshot will send you to the other side of the galaxy. But the celestial dragon sneered. Based on that thing you built? You can try. The quantum slingshot fired. The celestial dragon was teleported to the other side of the galaxy. At that time, my mother, before she could react, another surge of psionic energy erupted. The celestial dragon was teleported back again, in front of Su Wanqing, because I have 2 quantum slingshots. The galaxy is my football field. I'm kicking the celestial dragon around like a soccer ball. The celestial dragon tried to escape, but found 10,000 strategic ships ahead. Su Wanqing said coldly, if you don't surrender this time, the place you'll be teleported to isn't our base, but above the Doro Empire's homeworld. You should know what that means. Don't send me back. I surrender, everything's negotiable. Tianlong knelt down on the spot, then lowered his arrogant head, not surrendering to me, but surrendering to our human federation. The great leader Lin Maheng. Su Wanqing continued to emphasize, I understand. From now on, or surrender to the great human federation leader, Lin Maheng. Tianlong hurriedly expressed his position. Just at this moment, an alarm sounded, and 5 star systems away from us, a green, ugly heretic whose size is no less than Tianlong's, is attacking the mother star system. The Dark One also obtained the unrivaled inheritance. That is a terrifying gigantic structure creature entrenched in the stars, leading the unrivaled to come for revenge. I then used 10,000 strategic ships to lock Tianlong and the unrivaled in the same star system, and summoned all the citizens to watch. Today I announce the first program of the Human Federation's first Galaxy Arts Festival. Galactic Cricket Fighting. In our ancient civilization, the gambling activity of cricket fighting was once popular. You see, this Tianlong and the unrivaled, aren't they like 2 fighting crickets? Why not bet with your relatives and friends? The Dark One also controlled the unrivaled to fight against Tianlong. Being watched as crickets, he heard the Chinese speech. Knowing that the other party was our Dragon Country player, completely broke down. A dignified, unrivaled knight was actually regarded as a big in the galaxy. Cricket watched and bet on. Whenever he wanted to break through the defense line and escape, Tianlong rushed over like crazy to stop him. He had no choice but to cooperate with me in performing 3 days of galactic cricket fighting. On the 3rd day, the Colossus weapon Ground Burst Star entered the star system. Let's begin. Let's blow up a planet first to liven things up. Tianlong bolted as soon as he heard the words, planetary annihilation. He decisively hid behind a strategic point. Du Sheng wasn't so lucky. He tried to escape, but the Mega Arc caught up to him, placing him directly in front of the planetary annihilation. The Colossus fired a terrifying thermal flow, like an apocalyptic judgment descending from the heavens. It rapidly heated the planet's atmosphere, instantly detonating the planet's core, completely destroying the Earth's structure. A planet, before everyone's eyes, exploded into countless pieces. Du Shang was almost obliterated by the shockwave. Su Wanqing also cautiously revealed half of her face. Disease isn't true magic. Only I am. After resolving all of this, a few more years passed. I announced that the Human Federation was entering the Great Expedition era. At the same time, I also established the Interstellar Drama Company and the Galactic Arts Troupe to cooperate with the Expeditionary Forces Academies in acquiring resources. I launched a campaign to collect submissions of plans from everyone. The general manager of the Interstellar Drama Company, Zhao Tian, submitted his proposal to me, wanting me to open the borders, allow free trade, and open special zones. But first, I deeply investigated the history of the starfish civilization. It turned out these seemingly cute starfish were extremely xenophobic. They once targeted a naive pro-alien human and subjected the starfish civilization to orbital bombardment, completely wiping them out. And he also gave a corresponding proposal. First, build a cannery and power plant on the starfish homeworld, while integrating the starfish into the power grid for electricity generation. Turn them into canned goods and sell them throughout the galaxy. After reading his proposal, couldn't help but sigh. Isn't this an evil capitalist? But it's so right. Afterward, I approved everything. Zhao Tian wrote at the end, I believe that death is not the end, nor should it be the end. In our rigid perception, once we die, it's like we can't create value anymore. This world shouldn't stop here. Why after death? Can't they continue working for us? After I saw Lord Lin Maheng show us the new miracle, I'm sure we can do it. Let me, as a non-researcher, say, I don't know how long it will take to achieve these things, so I'm just making a suggestion. If Lord Lin Maheng can refer to it, I would be extremely honored. If it can be realized, then we can try out this afterlife employment center in the power generation planet first, and then, like the starfish fertile soil farm plan, draft a perpetual employment contract and promote it throughout the galaxy. The signature reads Zhao Tian. Go invite Zhao Tian here. I want to talk to him. Holy crap. Zhao Shui, take notes quickly. Seeing this, the worried audience was shocked. Afterlife employment center? Even after death you still have to work? My God. Is this the kind of idea a person can come up with? Even the right to complete death is lost. Luckily, I'm pure-blooded human. And this perpetual employment contract, what kind of cosmic comedy is this? More like a cosmic tragedy. I can only say what an insane matchmaking system. The heretics matched with Lin Maheng in the same period are blessed. Those matched with Lin Maheng in the same period, and who have always remained pure-blooded humans, are also blessed. Yeah. What a pity. So many of our Dragon Country players sacrificed heroically for pure-blooded humans back then. If they had been matched with Lin Maheng back then, and if Lin Maheng had descended from the sky, like Su Wanqing encountering a crisis, how great would that be? While waiting for Zhao Tian, I silently opened the Doomsday Mall to quickly churn out battleships and colossi. I've already spent all the deterrence points I had saved up to exchange for resources. After bombing a planet for the first time to complete a mission, the system rewarded me with another 100,000 deterrence points. So, I refreshed the 5G Scourge shop again. But unfortunately, I didn't get the prominent condensation engine. The endless supply of power from the power-generating planet was originally prepared by me in advance for the prominent condensation engine. This is a technology unique to the Civilization Scourge build. I'm currently following the path of the 5 Scourges build. The difference between the two is quite clear. The Civilization Scourge focuses on technology and avoids war. The 5 Scourges pilot colossi, bombing the entire universe with doomsday weapons. As the 4th Scourge, naturally, I need to combine both intellectual and martial approaches. And this prominent condensation engine, simply put, treats the brain of an alien as a component to be inserted into this giant machine, the prominent condensation engine, using the brain as a calculator to perform high-load calculations, which allows for a qualitative leap in scientific research, developing to the point where you can touch the deepest secrets of the universe, even rewrite the original laws. Rewriting the rules of the universe and so on is easily achievable. But unfortunately, this kind of heaven-defying technology is unlikely to be in the level 5 Scourge shop. So I agreed to Zhao Tian's plan to establish a post-mortem employment center. Actually, Zhao Tian's birth was planned by me because the prominent condensation engine is temporarily unavailable. He directly exchanged for the gene modification technology from the starfish can, as well as the necromantic technology related to the post-mortem employment center. And I proposed the plan to build a universal drama series. That's how a talent like Zhao Tian was born. It's like I bought a machine, and then the system sent someone to install it for me. But the audience on Blue Star naturally wouldn't know these things. They think the Human Federation has refreshed its talent pool. The Human Federation prepared for the Great Expedition for a full month. mainly in selecting talent and specifying detailed plans. To conquer the entire galaxy efficiently, you can't rely on impulse, not having enough natural talent, acquiring a new divine body through effort. The efficiency is worlds apart. In this past month, under the management of the General Manager of Universal Assembly, the Starfish Cannery has already produced the first batch of delicious and addictive starfish cans. Now is the time to find buyers. At the same time, other plans are also proceeding steadily. To have a justified reason for war, the Grand Marshal wrote a whole notebook full of reasons for declaring war. For example, citizens of our human federation have gone missing on your planet, things like that. This was my request to him. This made the Grand Marshal, who had finally become younger, through the third-generation gene serum, age a few more years. When racking his brains in the middle of the night, he even wondered if he should resign. But he knows this is the leaders' training and cultivation of him. They may not need a reason to declare war, but if he can come up with a notebook's worth of reasons for declaring war, then his way of thinking will be changed, making him the acquired new divine body in my eyes. This is the direction in which all citizens of the Human Federation are striving. Those who can't compare to the naturally talented Stellaris divine bodies can only be like the Grand Marshal, studying diligently. Only then will they have the qualification to display their talents in this galaxy. A month later, I once again ascended the podium, facing the battleships that blotted out the sky, and the joint report of 13 billion people, preparing to deliver a mobilization speech for the official launch of the Great Expedition. But an accident happened. After receiving the news, I frowned slightly, and then addressed the 13 billion citizens, saying, "Just now, I received an infuriating message. Our research ship discovered some ugly heretics coming out of a mysterious wormhole, so frightened that they hid their proud fleet, and then sent a threat through ship communication. They say, 'We humans are heretics. Fellow members of the Human Federation, what do you say? How should we respond at this moment?' My words instantly ignited the entire Human Federation. What responded to me was a unified roar of, 'Kill, kill, kill.' In the past, there were still heretics with too much time on their hands. Who actually said that humans are heretics? What a topsy-turvy world. You will country folks are really something. Bringing in the neighborhood chief of heretics. Isn't Lin Mahung the heretic? So, you admit that you are heretics? And we can't relate to it at all. Very good. I feel your anger and your determination for war. According to the information sent back by our intelligence officers, these heretics call themselves the chosen people, and are emerging from the wormhole for the first time. That is to say, their mother civilization is inside the unknown wormhole. Now that they have mastered wormhole technology, we cannot temporarily know their level of technology, and exactly how many fleets they have, because our quantum single attack directly locked the wormhole entrance. We can't directly lock the inside of the wormhole anymore. Not to let scientists sacrifice in vain, we did not rashly send a fleet into the wormhole. So once we enter the wormhole system, it will be these ugly insects' nest. Although we have conquered the stars and created galactic miracles like megastructures and embodied weapons, we must admit that we have not paid attention to the research of wormhole technology. Therefore, we need to kill into the wormhole, under the condition of unknown strength, and completely evolve these heretics, and control the wormhole technology, to return to this galaxy. This also means, this first great expedition, it will be incredibly dangerous. We might not even be able to return. Will you back down? Answer me honestly. We will not retreat from this battle. The voices of 13 billion compatriots shook the heavens. The Blue Star livestream relived the civilization. I didn't expect there to be such beings in the galaxy. It seems the strength of that crab end is not to be underestimated. Their first great expedition and they already met a tough customer. Huh? This is going to be a good show. Lin Mahung's fleet strength is terrifying for single, ordinary civilizations. But the galaxy has countless powerful beings. Lin Mahung's little bit of military force, and he wants to learn from others' great expeditions. Are thinking, the players from Pinghua country seem to have found a new spiritual homeland again. Even if these chosen ones don't know who they are at all. In a brand new world. Good. Very impressive. My human warriors. This time, I will charge alongside you. Just like back in the Terra system. On Earth, I had you grab whatever weapons you could find. And follow me. This time, I won't be standing in the back either, watching you charge into battle. Because we are connected by blood. We share glory and defeat. Let us use these heretics as a sacrifice for our great expedition. As my voice fell, 13 billion compatriots responded in unison, shaking the world like never before. Seeing this scene, seeing my determination, the Dragon Country viewers of Blue Star were filled with emotion. That familiar feeling is back, just like when Lin Maheng was on Earth, leading 4 billion pure-blooded humans in a bloody battle, to cleanse the Earth of the mixed-blood heretics. Everything is like yesterday, vivid in our minds. Blue Star, 12 days. Stellaris, year 12. This change is earth-shattering. Never has a nation-building game reached this level, especially in just 12 years. Meanwhile, in the Stellaris world, let's make this quick. Human Federation soldiers, listen up. Follow me into battle. With my command, the Human Federation fleet departs from United Star, and my entire fleet finally makes its debut. A Colossus, the Bunker Star, a Leviathan, 10 Titan-class battleships, 20,000 strategic cruisers, 200,000 corvettes, a sky-darkening, intelligence-blotting fleet, heading mightily toward Cheongdong Star. And the Blue Star audience witnessing this is completely dumbfounded. Seriously, dude? If you'd said you had this many ships earlier, no kidding. I almost thought it was going to be a desperate fight. Aren't you just bullying them? Previously, 20,000 strategic cruisers, 200,000 corvettes. Hey, what are those 10 battleships? Even bigger than strategic cruisers? This is too ridiculous. Is it too late for the chosen people to surrender now? Is it too late for the chosen people to surrender now? Raising the flag too early. It's not certain that these chosen people aren't strong. The Sakura country audience says this with absolutely no confidence, because my fleet is truly terrifying. 200,000 Corvette C means every strategic cruiser has 10 corvettes escorting it, and the Colossus-class weapon Bunker Star faces absolutely no resistance. Lin Maheng's shipbuilding speed is too terrifying. No wonder he's launching a great expedition. If he weren't short on resources, he'd have even more fleets than this right now. This is terrifying. This is truly a sky-darkening, sun-obscuring sight. Meanwhile, inside the Cheongdong system, the chosen people's leader was also mobilizing his people. My people, this day has finally arrived. Since our ancestors arrived at Cheongdong Star, we have finally conquered this star and taken control of Cheongdong. This is a great day for us, the chosen people, a day worth celebrating. We long for the outside world and know that there will be countless enemies there. So we have been hoarding military power. Now we finally have 1,000 strategic warships. We need more resources, so we will pilot our 1,000 strategic warships to conquer the first civilization outside of Cheongdong, occupy their territory and resources, to develop and grow stronger, and then sweep across the entire galaxy, conquering all enemies. Now, let's set off. Let those ugly heretics out there tremble at the arrival of our chosen people. The chosen people's leader gave a passionate speech. Then, with a command, 1,000 strategic warships set off mightily, and at the Cheongdong exit, they encountered the Human Federation's first strategic warship. These heretics dare to enter our base camp. They truly have a death wish. The chosen people's leader laughed. There are also a bunch of frigates. It seems they can't even afford to build many strategic warships. With this level of technology, they dare to enter our planet? Prepare to annihilate them. For every ship they send in, we will annihilate one. Once they're scared shitless, if they don't hurry up and come in, it'll be our turn to hunt them down. Oh right. Remember to have all strategic warships fire their cannons together, all light weaponry. The chosen's leader laughed loudly and immediately gave the order. So 1,000 strategic warships rushed forward toward the Human Federation's vanguard, firing like crazy. However, what confused the chosen was that something happened quickly. Report, leader. These frigates' shields seem to be extremely strong. Our ship cannons can't penetrate their shields. The adjutant reported with a grim expression. Use disruptors, armor-piercing weapons. The chosen leader was a little surprised, but didn't take it to heart. Then, the chosen's 1,000 strategic warships switched weapons and launched a brand new barrage. However, this round, carrying shield-piercing, armor-shredding disruptors, was completely blocked outside the shields. The penetration effect was non-existent. Not even a drop of the frigates' shield energy was lost. Report, leader. Our disruptor weapons aren't working either. The adjutant's voice finally held a hint of panic, while my strategic warships and frigates kept appearing, advancing with unstoppable justice. How is this possible? The chosen's leader couldn't shake the bewilderment, worried about the livestream monitoring. The Chinese viewers, after seeing the chosen one's number of battleships, were dying of laughter. The Sakura country viewers were even more ashen-faced. Just moments ago they were sucking up to the chosen one, but now they immediately started calling them trash. I thought they were going to be strong, but is this it? Only 1,000 strategic ships. He better have other fleets. Speaking of which, is Lin Maheng's shield armor really that OP? These chosen ones have at least 1,000 strategic ships, acting as horse archers, yet they can't even break the energy. Shields of a frigate. Doesn't this mean Lin Maheng applied strategic ship, shield armor technology to 200,000 frigates? Holy crap, that's way too extravagant, isn't it? Aren't frigates supposed to be as cheap as possible? Is it possible that, for Lin Maheng, this is already the cheapest option? Furthermore, did you guys notice something? Lin Maheng's fleet advance seems a bit slow, doesn't it? He clearly has a warp drive, appearing instantly with ease, but he's only now showing up with 100 or so. You're evil, buddy. This is probably because the first strategic ship detected the fleet size in the Chongdong galaxy, so he's doing it on purpose, right? Can't wait to see the Chosen One leader's expression. Can't wait to see the Chosen One leader's expression. In the Stellaris world, the Chosen leader doesn't believe in the supernatural. Continue the orders. Their shields and armor can't possibly. There must be a breaking point. Keep intensifying the firepower. And so, ship after strategic ship began a new round of bombardment. This time, all the ship cannons, without reservation, fired repeatedly. However, this time, they still couldn't even break through the shields. But those warships were still advancing. Should we retreat first? The adjutant's voice began to tremble. Instinct told him that these enemies were not simple. I don't understand, the chosen leader said unwillingly. He hesitated to give the order to retreat. However, just then, a dragon's roar suddenly rang out, piercing through the strategic ship's shields and armor, making all the chosen uncontrollably tremble twice as hard. After they finally recovered, they saw an incredibly horrifying scene. A celestial dragon was in their fleet, circling around. Its massive size was enough to encircle their 1,000 strategic ships. And that's not all. What is this thing? Activate shields. Retreat quickly. The chosen leader finally panicked, no longer caring about anything else. With an order, the fleet retreated quickly. The celestial dragon seemed to deliberately let them go, but then blocked their path. Not far away. Damn it! The chosen leader cursed impotently. Now there's no escape. Firing on the celestial dragon. It's an act that requires even more courage. He had no doubt that if they angered this celestial dragon, they would die without a burial ground. Just as he didn't know what to do, Bu Guanjin Kong's voice rang in his ear and said, "Look over there." The chosen leader looked towards his adjutant's direction, finally understanding the celestial dragon's intent in deliberately letting them go. It was to free up space for their fleet, only to see at the wormhole exit a fleet that blotted out the sky and sun. Radar showing a number close to 230,000. All the chosen were terrified, standing in place, afraid to move, unable to even speak. At this moment, the chosen leader recalled the words he used to mobilize everyone before their departure, only to realize how much of a clown he was. He had once led a fleet, unifying the wormhole star system. There were no enemies within the entire star system. He naively believed that even if there were many powerful beings outside the wormhole, they would probably be like him, beings who had conquered a star system. The difference shouldn't be too great. Even if there was a difference, he could proceed step by step, continuing to strengthen himself. However, he never expected that as soon as he exited the wormhole, he would encounter such a terrifying existence. Surprised? Unexpected? The chosen were scared to tears. This sense of oppression was truly terrifying. I wonder how Lin Maheng plans to deal with these chosen. In the Stellaris world, all the chosen didn't dare to move, waiting for my reaction. They had completely lost the courage to resist, because their lives were now completely under my control. Seeing that I hadn't attacked for a long time, they even harbored the illusion that I might let them go. To surrender. Get a message to them, quick. 2503, we want to surrender. 2500 for the chosen ones finally realized what was happening. 2505, they shouted hurriedly. 2506, okay. 2507, however. 2508, before the adjutant could send the surrender signal. 2509, a video from the Human Federation 2510 appeared in the channel first. 2511 in the video. 2512, I stared at the leader of the chosen ones. 2513, with disgust in my eyes. 2514, I asked coldly. 2515, you said before that we were heretics. 2516 now. 2517, I am standing right in front of you. 2518, I'll ask you one more time. 2519, are we heretics? 2520, however. 2521, the leader of the chosen ones didn't answer my question. 2522, because he couldn't understand my language. 2523, but sensing my anger. 2524, his legs immediately went weak. 2525, and he knelt down. 2526, then he rattled off a bunch of stuff. 2527 Everyone was worried that the live stream could understand 2528 and communicate fluently in various languages 2529 because of the power of the Stellaris game. 2530 But my Stellaris world 2531 doesn't have those things. 2532 The linguist who was initially responsible 2533 for contacting the chosen ones 2534 hurriedly walked back and said, 2535 Leader, 2536 This is my responsibility. 2537 I'll relay your words to them right away. 2538 I just nodded. 2539 But the interest was completely gone. 2540 Whoa. 2541 This is a bit too realistic. 2542 We've watched too many live streams 2543 and forgot about this. 2544 Languages in the Stellaris world are not mutually intelligible. 2545 The National Fortune game livestream has that ability. 2546 But if it completely unified the languages, 2547 then the Stellaris world 2548 wouldn't be very realistic or plausible. 2549 So, through the linguist's translation, 2000 We want to surrender. The chosen people finally reacted. They hurriedly shouted, okay. However, before the adjutant could send the surrender signal, the Human Federation's video appeared in the comms channel first. In the video, I stared at the chosen people's leader. With disgust in my eyes, I coldly asked, you said before that we were heretics. Now, I'm standing right in front of you. I'll ask you one more time. Are we heretics? However, the chosen people's leader didn't answer my question, because he couldn't understand my language. But sensing my anger, his legs immediately went weak, and he knelt down. Then he babbled a bunch of stuff. I doubt anyone in the livestream could understand him. And the language barrier between countries has been eliminated. It's because of the power of the Stellaris game. But the Stellaris world I'm in doesn't have those things. The linguist initially responsible for contacting the chosen ones hurried back and said, Leader, this is my responsibility. I'll relay your words to them right away. I just nodded. But the nature is completely different. Oh, this is a little too real. We've been watching live streams too much. We've forgotten about this. Languages in the Stellaris world are not mutually intelligible. The National Fortune game live streams have that ability. But if we completely win and unify the language, then the Stellaris world wouldn't be very realistic. So, through the linguist's translation, that's how I was able to roughly convey what I just said. We're the heresy. We are the heresy. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. I never said anything like that, right? Never said it. It's my fault for not managing my subordinates properly. About to cry loudly. The chosen people's leader is wearing a mournful face. Where is the leader's presence? Killing them directly like this is too easy on them. Since they are guilty, let them atone for their sins. Head to their homeworld. Convert their entire population into slave laborers. Let them mine the resources of the heavy neutron star system. Build new colossal flagships. Neutron sweep. Let these heretics admire our power. Build our new wonders. They are now slave laborers in the colossal shipyard. But after the neutron sweep is completed, erase them with the neutron sweep. And then, transfer them to the Afterlife Employment Center. Continue to work for us and atone for their sins. Mysterious. Zhao Shuliang is also radiating light. The viewers in the male streamer's broadcast room, after hearing Lin Maheng's plan, were all numb. Damn. Lin Maheng is truly a living king of hell. This is truly worse than death. To be a black slave mining resources from your own star system, personally building the colossal that will kill you, and after death you still have to go to the Afterlife Employment Center. Continue to be a workhorse. Just listening to it makes my scalp crawl. But this is all their own doing. Saying other things would have been fine. But they just had to say that Lin Maheng and his people are heretics. They really don't know what death is. In the Stellaris world, Zhao Shui immediately went to arrange the execution of the mission I assigned. Then I called Chief Scientist Ran Xiu for a private talk. In the future, we will inevitably come into contact with all kinds of civilizations. At that time, diplomatic language would be a huge obstacle. If every civilization had to send scientists to research languages, the efficiency would be too low, and we wouldn't be able to express our true feelings in a timely manner. Lin Maheng is right. Ran Xiu strongly agreed. Just as he was about to suggest his preliminary plan, Lin Maheng spoke first. Can you imagine? When we first come into contact with a disgusting and ugly civilization, we can't even curse them out in time, with the most vicious and filthy language, and have these ugly heretics completely understand. Maheng, you're a soldier on the front lines. Don't you feel stifled? Especially since our great expedition era has just begun. This matter is urgent. Our soldiers on the front lines definitely need this urgently. So, my requirement for you is to completely solve this problem in the upcoming latest generation of gold and silver potions. If you don't know how to swear, then go collect all the vicious words aimed at hybrid heretics. Remember, greetings commonly used among humans, like, how are you, cannot be used on hybrid heretics, because the context is wrong. Lin Mahing said earnestly. Lin Mahing said earnestly, bewildered. Ran Qiu looked astonished, and somewhat honored, because this could be considered the leader's indirect first time using such language to scold him. In a sense, he is also the only one among the 14 billion humans to receive such an honor. If he still had a mother, she might also feel very honored, but such thoughts only flashed through his mind. That's disrespectful to my mother. Meanwhile, in the Blue Star livestream, the audience members who were eating and drinking almost choked on my words. That was a little too vulgar, wasn't it? I almost forgot. Lin Maheng is a native of our dragon country. How could he not know these choice phrases? Besides, it's just Rancho here. No other nationals are present. No need to worry about setting a bad example. Tell it like it is. Lin Maheng's words make a lot of sense. To see a heretic and not be able to curse them? What kind of example is that? Killing them is one thing, but not even being able to humiliate or verbally abuse them. Then killing them isn't satisfying enough. Lin Maheng is the figurehead, he can be more elegant. But the soldiers on the front lines of the Great Expedition, it's rare to see Lin Maheng being so down to earth. Isn't he usually down to earth enough? More like down to the underworld, am I right? After Rancho left, Zhao Shui finished assigning the tasks and came back to my side. After initially dealing with the Chosen, I mobilized everyone again. The Great Expedition has officially begun. A Colossus base, the Star Devourer, headed straight for the Titans. 20,000 strategic ships, 200,000 escort ships, were divided into 4 routes. Each Titan battleship was equipped with 2,000 strategic ships and 20,000 escort ships for protection. They carried a large number of science ships, construction ships, colony ships, army transport ships, as well as scientists and army soldiers. Using the quantum catapult, I set off towards the planets that the science ships had already scouted, and after the first conquest, connected the territories into a line that allowed the ring to gather, and a smooth and unobstructed trade route. Still got the Silver Galaxy art troops tour routes and stuff. My origin planet is Terra. Chu Xia's origin is the United Planets. Bread Machine 1 planet and Heavy Industry planet each have a fleet left to defend their home. These 4 fleets will only go on expeditions after the second batch of warships are built. Everything is going according to my plan. At the same time, my doomsday system has also updated. Oh, a brand new deterrence template. My eyes lit up. This is a good thing. That way, the methods of my deterrence, perhaps, can become more diversified. But this level 6 Doomsday Shop is quite valuable. This is also the real reason I decided to launch the Great Expedition. Most of the garbage civilizations can only provide 1,000 points of deterrence. Occasionally, there are stronger ones. The highest is only 10,000. As for special civilizations, they're still too few in the end. Most of the famous ones are still too strong for me to provoke or defeat. For example, the L cluster, I didn't dare to open it, because I can't guarantee it'll open up. Something like Little Hui making a small profit of 5,000 years. What if it's some kind of Grey Tempest? That could be the end of everything. In the Stellaris game, the Grey Tempest is at least a 50k fleet size. But 50k is the game's algorithm. Now it's the real Stellaris world. Based on my own fleet's estimates, I estimate this Grey Tempest is at least a 500,000 strong fleet. My current strength is far from enough. Level 6 Doomsday Shop refreshes with 100,000 deterrence points. Black Hole Condensate Armor, 500,000 points. A massive reservoir calculation system. It uses intricate cables, conduit pipes and life support pods to connect tens of thousands of sentient beings, including organics or synthetics, to each other. Sky-piercing Divine Weapon, 500,000 points. A weapon that can trigger a star's supernova. A terrifying weapon that could directly destroy an entire star system. Psionic Moon Circle Engine, 200,000 points. A type of psionic jump drive. Utilizes the psionic energy emitted by the crew to allow the ship to traverse the spatial structure of reality, instantly jumping across extremely long distances. Besides being at 100,000 points, as a freely mobile space base of unprecedented size, the main carrier ship can elevate offensive operations to a whole new level. outstanding coalescent lacquer, and swift sky divine weapon. I'm a little surprised. It's a shame it costs 500,000 points. I can't afford it right now. Moreover, even if I could afford these things, even if I could afford them, my current resources couldn't sustain them. I'm not in a hurry. What I need now is to acquire more deterrence. I continue to check the level 6 production. This time, level 6 production only has 4 items. It's because there's one more. Ascension perk. Ascension perk. Refreshes once for 100,000 points. Lighter than air. 500,000. Opens the psionic ascension path. Only a small part of the potential within us is developed and used. Within our species, only a few individuals are currently able to manipulate the power of psionics. Sure enough, it's another 500,000. If this grand expedition goes smoothly, I should be able to afford it. I'm not in a hurry to buy from the level 6 store. The level 5 store is already 50% off. For example, the Planet Burst Heavenly Star level Colossus weapon is already a dirt cheap price of 5,000 points. This makes me quite satisfied. The main difference between level 5 and level 6 is blowing up planets versus blowing up stars. Current stage. Enough to create a bunch of planet busters. After traveling for a long time, news arrives from the front lines, reporting the discovery of an elven civilization. This civilization consists entirely of asexual females. They worship the Eater of Heaven ritual, possessing psychic powers, and their high priestess can even traverse the void with her physical body. One chance per research ship. The expeditionary force regards them as a gift to me, but they don't know how to make them willingly submit. Don't refresh the level 5 shop. Roll for Chosen One, Colossus Peacebringer and Divine Judgment. The latter fires a psychic ray to alter faith. Exchange them all. Chosen One takes effect. Vast psychic energy surges into the body, able to traverse the void with one's physical body. Crushed a frigate with psychic pressure. Then crushed a strategic cruiser. Without psychic shields for protection, they're practically useless against psychic power. If there were no psychic shields, I could completely bypass the enemy ship's shields and kill the crew individually through their armor, instantly teleporting inside the enemy ship to decapitate. Psychic power also has strict level divisions. God, Upper Overlord, Void Gazers Low Rain, Reincarnations among Ends. God level 5 Great Overlords can be sought and taken, Law of Life etc. God 1, Small Overlord, including Void Law and Twilight's Phantasm etc. God 2 Chosen One, God Chosen Censor, God 3 Psychic Envoy, God 4 Psychic Adept, God 5 Psychic Previous Life, and I am the first person under God 2 Overlord. And I granted Su Wanqing the power of a Psychic Envoy. Su Wanqing uses psychic power. I can also blow up the moon. The moon isn't your limit. I had Su Wanqing organize the creation of the Celestial Judgment Colossus. I myself, in the Heavenly Dragon, headed straight for the Elven civilization. After the power of the Heavenly Dragon's psionic abilities, the Heavenly Dragon's speed increased dramatically. Arriving in an instant, I used psionic concealment and observational divine arts, and immediately discovered the truth. The divine art was an unowned evolution device and converter, drawing the purest psionic energy from the shroud, rejecting evil and violent psionic energy. After accumulating to a certain extent, it would condense into a psionic infant. The psionic infant also rejects other psionic energy due to its purity, resulting in extremely slow growth. Then wouldn't I just become a god? I released the chosen goblin's psionic energy. The entire elven civilization trembled. Do you want power? My voice echoed in the minds of all the elves. As the fourth scourge, I can grant you power, but you must believe and follow my will. I will place a mark on your souls. I will know if there is any dissent. High Priest Jia Yu agreed without hesitation. A group of elves opened their souls. I placed a mark on each elf soul. Then I refined the divine art and explained the truth to the elves. This divine art has made you, but it has also bound you. If you want to break the shackles, then you need me to refine this divine art and become your new deity. After death, I will be your destination. Where I am is your home. High Priest Jia Yu bowed deeply. From now on, you are our deity, our destination, our home. No matter where in the galaxy, wherever you are, that is the eternal homeland of the elven civilization. A group of lights intertwined and converged. The power of faith poured into my body. The divine art was refined. Psionic power greatly increased. Even the scientist, Wan Yao, who was present, could all become you. I could become you. I could become you. I could become you. Psionic power greatly increased. Even the scientist, Wan Yao, who was present, ate the whole thing. Jia Yu asked a serious question. Divine power has merged with you. What should we do about our population? In the past, star elves were all born through praying to divine power. Wan Yao stepped forward. You can refer to human reproduction methods. Lord God, you are now their divine power, and also a man. Jiayu asked naively, can just one of our elves do it? Wan Yao's scalp tingled, but he still said, theoretically, there's no problem. It's just a matter of time. Very good. Wan Yao, your position has been revoked by me. Your mission is to give these elves relevant knowledge and personally demonstrate when the time comes. I deliberately scared him. Is there such a good thing? Can I really do it? Wan Yao's eyes lit up. Instead, I was silent. Not only did I not scare him, but I accidentally rewarded him again. Soon, under Wan Yao's popular science, 100 million elves were greatly shocked. Okay, bye. Dureg holiday. At the elf civilization high school, 100 million elves became the perfect crew for the fleet's psionic lunar engines. I picked 100 elves to keep by my side. Each link configured 1 million elven souls. That's also the top university. Psionic resonance method. Then I appointed Jiayu as the planet's governor, Wan Yao as the star prison, person in charge of psionic research, human expeditionary force. Wiped out hundreds of transplanetary marquises. All the alien civilizations in the galaxy. Jointly established the Star Sea Alliance Commonwealth, covering thousands of transplanetary planets, defining the Human Federation as a galaxy-wide natural disaster. Worried about the players from various countries joining the Commonwealth without exception. They all chose a Tier 1 civilization start. They, through delay, pieced together my profile from Sima G, plus the Fallen Empire, also alien intelligence, increased greatly, with the players from various countries, even obtained the appreciation of the Fallen Empire, and got strategic cruiser technology. 15 billion human compatriots silently watched the video. No one spoke. I didn't speak either. The anger of 15 billion people seemed to tear space apart. They were waiting for my order. Many of you are veterans who followed me from the Terra system and fought our way out. 15 years ago, on Earth, there were 4 billion hybrids of heresy. At that time, humanity was weak. I asked you to take up all the weapons around you and follow me to fight. You weren't afraid then. Now we have 15 billion compatriots, strategic ships, fortresses, megastructures, colossus weapons. But there are more and more enemies, getting stronger and stronger. This time we face 1,000 star systems worth of enemies. We might even encounter fallen empires. This battle is destined to be bloody. Are you afraid? We will not retreat in this battle. I, as the supreme leader of the Human Federation, officially declare all-out war on the entire galaxy. Whether it be heretics, fallen empires, or any other powerful beings, all will be targets of this war. No exceptions. This time, we will completely incinerate the galaxy. After declaring total war, I accumulated my deterrence to 500,000, and conversed with the Skyfire divine weapon. It can trigger stars to go supernova, an ultimate weapon that destroys entire star systems. At the same time, I purchased the Ascension perk to unlock the psionic ascension path. The psionic breakthrough directly approached the minor overlord level. Then, I exchanged for the prominent spirit link machine, connecting the brains of hundreds of millions of natives on the power-generating planet into a supercomputing network. The speed of scientific research underwent a qualitative change. Then, in the second stage of the Great Expedition, I divided my forces into 3 routes. Grand Marshal Shuai's main fleet advanced head-on. Zhua Anqing only uses the Celestial Judgment Colossus to perform soul alterations on civilizations suitable for conquest. Zhao Shuai, along with Zhu Qi's trade fleet, used starfish canned food to disintegrate the enemy's economy. The Galactic art troupe took the Celestial Dragons and Bunker Celestial Stars on tour. First, to spread the art of the Human Federation. Second, to assist the fleet in suppressing civilizations. And third, to blow up planets into mines. To facilitate mining by slave laborers. Triple win. The Star C-1 common body is actively connecting. The 500,000-strong Allied forces counterattacked. I had the fleet retreat within the quantum slingshot's range. The Skyfire divine weapon aimed at the Allied forces. Gathered star at the center of the star system. A power beyond imagination, injecting the star's core. The star's surface expanded violently. Radiation increased tenfold. Then a supernova erupted. The entire star system was annihilated in light and fire. 500,000 coalition warships, along with all the planets in the star system, satellites, and asteroids, were all turned to dust in the supernova's hunt. The Star Sea Commonwealth's affiliated fleet evaporated in an instant. This scene, through reconnaissance ships, spread throughout the galaxy, and also alerted ancient beings from their slumber. For fallen empires awakened simultaneously. They were the galaxy's oldest civilizations, with technology far surpassing the younger empires. Each fallen empire possessed at least 20 strategic cruisers, and thousands of strategic ships, and the reasons for their awakening varied. Some sensed the heaven-burning divine weapon, desecrating the star. Some were disturbed by psionic fluctuations. Some simply because the galactic power structure was broken. But the goal was only one: the Interstellar Federation. They jointly issued an ultimatum: unconditionally surrender within 6 months, hand over all megastructures and colossus weapons, or face judgment, or face a war of annihilation. We can't win. The combat power of each strategic cruiser is equivalent to 100 of our strategic ships. For added together, 80 strategic cruisers and 12,000 strategic ships, we can use a quantum-based at-will distribution mechanism. They are scattered in 4 directions of the galaxy. Gathering will take some time. Not enough. Their technology far surpasses ours. It would be difficult to win even in a one-on-one fight. Moreover, the shroud is also becoming unstable. Several minor overgods have already noticed me. One overgod, called the Golden Dream, even tried to invade my consciousness. I need 3 months to give me time. I made a decision no one expected. I personally entered the shivering dream realm to devour a lesser overgod. Since the dawn of the galaxy, no one from the real world has ever proactively attacked the gods of the shivering dream realm. If successful, my psionic power will break through to the greater overgod level. If I fail, I'm looking at you, Su Wanqing. You'll take over for me. Like this, when you're a worker, it'll excite you anywhere in the galaxy. Being with the Celestials is the ultimate life. The shivering dream realm isn't the real world. Going there with reality is useless. Only psionic power can fight there. You'll be back. You always say you might not come back, but you always do. I've chosen my target. The lesser overgod, point of emptiness. Also the weakest in the shivering dream realm. Immediately I took 100 clear spirit psionic envoys faith power and entered the shivering dream realm in the flesh. The shivering dream realm isn't physical space, but is composed of consciousness and psionic power. Another kind of universe. All physical laws are ineffective. Only the strength of consciousness and psionic power determine everything. The point of emptiness's domain is boundless nothingness. No light, no sound, no direction. Its method of fighting is devouring, slowly dissolving any psionic entity that falls into its domain. As if it were itself, I stepped into the stone psionic energy, and was immediately slowly being drained. Insignificant vermin, you dare step into my domain? Inside there is no sound, only thoughts are conveyed. I've come to take your psionic power. The domain began to shrink. The pressure increased 100-fold. The psionic shield was rapidly depleting. The normal method is to cultivate bitterly for thousands of years. But I didn't have millennia. System: convert all remaining deterrents into psionic energy. Confirm conversion. Current deterrent strength, 230,000 points. Convert all to psionic burst. Warning: this operation is irreversible. Confirm. 230,000 points of deterrent strength are instantly transformed into vast psionic energy, like detonating a supernova in the void. The space between the points of singularity is torn open, and then I transform into a golden torrent of psionic energy, rushing into the core. 2 wills collide. My will is forged from 15 years of galactic conquest, while the singularity's will is the lonely accumulation of billions of years in the void. It doesn't even comprehend what conquest is. It's the roar of Earth's first declaration of war, the pressure of a hunting formation of 10,000 corvettes, the blue light of quantum slingshots tearing space, the magnificent shattering of planets under stellar explosions, the shock of 15 billion people, rising to fight to the death, never retreating. For beings that have never experienced any emotion, these are weapons they can never understand or resist. The nothingness collapsed. Psionic energy surged into me like a flood breaching a dam, and I devoured a minor overlord. 3 months later I returned. My psionic power had broken through to near the level of a grand overlord. The shroud trembled. The remaining minor overlords all contracted their domains. The grand overlords also began to take notice. Su Wanqing stabilized the situation during my absence, using the quantum slingshot to pull back the main defensive forces. She ordered the expeditionary force to contract its lines. But the remaining forces of the galactic community at the edge of the galaxy seized the opportunity to counterattack, recapturing dozens of star systems. The fallen empire has completed its mobilization. There are 3 months left until the ultimatum deadline. I addressed all of humanity. I'm back. And I've brought back something good. I disappeared for 3 months. In these past 3 months I did something. I killed a god. An overlord in the void. One of those entities worshipped as gods by countless civilizations. I personally devoured one of them. From this day forward, I am the god of the void. Currently, for fallen empires are approaching. They gave a 6-month surrender deadline. Now only 3 months remain. My answer is, they are not worthy. 3 months of frantic operation. Devouring the minor overlord's psionic energy. Mass-producing 1,000 psionic masters. Equipping each Titan with a psionic lunar transfer engine. Transforming the void domain of the hollow point chain into a human psionic fortress. To intercept the void invasion, the singularity condenser operates at full power. Composed of trillions upon trillions of brain ends, a superquantum computing network breaks through psionic shield technology, not only resisting physical attacks, but also shielding against psionic intrusions. Rancho completes the 4th-generation gene serum, extending lifespan by 2,000 years, and granting weak psionic perception. 3 months later, the human war machine reaches its peak. 30,000 strategic ships, fully equipped with psionic shields and spirit point reactors. 50 Titans, equipped with psionic lunar transfer engines. 3 quantum slingshots, covering 3 directions of the galaxy, shining as heaven-suppressing weapons. 5 planetary annihilators, 1 celestial judgment, 1 sky dragon, 1,000 psionic masters, for a total of 80 strategic cruisers, and 12,000 strategic ships. Technological humans are superior to ordinary humans, but the gap has narrowed significantly. I adopt a divide-and-conquer strategy. The quantum slingshot instantly teleports all main forces to the nearest fallen empire. 30,000 against 3,000. Absolute numbers crush everything. The first fallen empire crumbled within 6 hours. Psionic shields significantly reduce losses. Focused arc, full shield penetration. Directly attacking cruisers. Shining through the fallen empires. Prideful heavy armor. I personally took to the field, tearing apart the shields of 3 strategic cruisers with psionics. Yu Qian entered the command ship, beheading the imperial governor alone. The first fallen empire fleet was annihilated. The quantum catapult is activated again, teleporting to the second fallen empire. The enemy scattered their fleets, avoiding concentrated annihilation, but Yu Qian's psionic engine had abundant maneuverability, far surpassing them. 50 Titans split into 10 groups to pursue, each group equipped with 3,000 strategic ships. Within 2 days, the third fallen empire attempted to retreat, sending down the heavenly troops to target their homeworld. Destruction. Unsurprisingly, they chose to surrender. The fourth was the Holy Ground Guardian, possessing psionic technology and the divine judgment colossus, worshipping the great beyond in the Shroud. This battle was the fiercest, two-front war between the Shroud and reality. The Holy Ground Guardian's psionic warriors clashed with the Human Federation's psionic empaths. Titans fought fiercely on the physical plane. The Human Federation lost 5,000 strategic ships and 300 psionic empaths. This is my greatest loss in 15 years. But I personally shattered the Holy Ground Guardian's Gith, a shard of divinity's psionic core. Picking it up, the fleet sustained by psionics instantly collapsed. The Galactic War lasted a month. 3 fallen empires were annihilated. 1 surrendered. The Human Federation obtained all technological legacies. Just when everyone thought the galaxy was about to kneel to Human Federation rule, the true cataclysm descended. Gravity at the edge of the galaxy tore space, using fleets composed of countless gray nanomachines. No commander, no consciousness, only a program to devour all matter, to replicate itself. Each warship devoured generates more. Each planet devoured generates a fleet. The first wave, 500,000 ships, grows exponentially. The Commonwealth factions at the edge of the galaxy are the first to be hit, completely consumed within 3 days. The alien civilizations that once clamored to destroy the Human Federation are as fragile as paper before the true calamity. The Gray Valley has no emotion, no fear, no desire, does not accept surrender, does not understand threats, will not negotiate. They only do one thing, and that is to devour. I immediately convened an emergency military meeting. The divine weapon of town and heaven can destroy star systems. But the Gray Valley is distributed throughout the edge of the galaxy. No concentrated target. Data analysis. Zero energy is ineffective against them. They have no consciousness, no soul. Jia continued to add. Replication speed exceeds annihilation speed. In 6 months, the Gray Valley will exceed 10 million ships. Use planetary devastation to clear infected star systems one by one? Su Wanqing suggested. Too slow. Besides, we can't just blow up half the galaxy. Everyone fell silent. I stood alone in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows of the command center, looking at the stars outside the window. Conventional means cannot win. The only solution is to find the original code deep within the wormhole, which is also the original nanite machine. To rewrite it, although the Gray Valley storm seems disordered, there must be a source. To travel through the wormhole into the Grey Valley origin requires stronger protection than any warship. Also requires stronger destructive power than any weapon. The Doomsday system immediately popped up a new prompt. Galactic level Doomsday event detected. 4th Scourge special mission deployed. Terminate the Doomsday. Mission reward. Snag a free fundamental cosmic rule. Mission conditions. The Scourge host must personally end the Galactic Doomsday. Free cosmic rule. This is a domain that can only be touched when the Singularity Reactor development reaches its peak. Now, it's directly placed before me as a mission reward. But the condition is clear. I need to personally end it. This is insane. Inside is the Grey Tide's nest. I have psionic shields. The Grey Tide can't devour psionic barriers. I don't need to fight all of the Grey Tide. I just need to find the source. Appreciate it. I told it my worst-case scenario. If I don't come back, Su Wanqing becomes the supreme leader. Annihilation slingshot. Heavenly Inferno divine weapon. Transfer command of the entire fleet. Command of the entire fleet is transferred. Unconsciously flying towards the Grey Tide's impulse. This is 100 layers of psionic shielding. Each layer is enough to withstand a full barrage from strategic cruisers. This is the power I only gained after devouring Little Overlord. At the entrance to the wormhole, the Grey Tide's density is so high it obscures all light. Countless Grey nanites surge like living things. Sensing my approach, they frantically gather. The shield surface begins to be eroded. I accelerate into the wormhole. The inside of the wormhole is a distorted spacetime. There is no up or down. There is no direction. There is only endless gray. The Grey Tide has built a vast network here. Each nanobot is a node. Dream information, thoughts and goals. Without psionic perception, search for the source. Finally, I found it in a spacetime folding point at the deepest part of the wormhole. It was a sphere only 1 meter in diameter. It was a sphere with a diameter of only 1 meter. Floating in the void, its surface shimmering with a strange silver luster. Instead of the Grey Valley's gray. The rock code is also the first Grey Valley nanite. But as I approached, I sensed a threat. The entire reactivated Grey Valley surged forth at once. The density so high that my shields began to peel away layer by layer. I concentrated all my psionic power in my right hand, not to destroy. If I destroyed the rock code, with the millions of Grey Valley warships replicated, they might become disordered nanites drifting everywhere, causing a greater disaster. I ultimately chose to rewrite the underlying instructions of the nanites. 30 layers, 20 layers, 10 layers. I rewrote the core command, changing it from devouring all matter, and replicating itself to stopping, and returning to 0. At the same instant the last layer of shield shattered. I completed the rewrite. The primal rock code flickered, the silver turning blue. The altered command from the depths of the reactivation spread throughout the Grey Valley network, and across the galaxy. The Grey Valley fleets that remained devouring planets ceased their actions. The nanite factories that were replicating shut down. The Grey Valley vanguard advancing towards human territories slowed down, then began to decompose. They were disassembling themselves. Every nanite followed the planetary directive, recovering matter, returning everything they had devoured, shutting themselves down. The Grey Tide receded. The remnants of the devoured planets were released, though unrecognizable. But at least they were no longer being consumed. Grey Valley warships, one after another, disintegrated into silver dust, drifting slowly in space. The entire process lasted 7 days. The Grey Valley completely disappeared from the galaxy. I disappeared as well. Su Wanqing waited by the quantum bomb factory for 7 days. Zhao Shui watched the screen for 7 days. The homeworld searched the void for 7 days. 15 billion people, along with the ashes of their compatriots, sucked for 7 days. The wormhole started its exploration after vanishing in Grey Valley. Day 8. The wormhole completely closed, but no one came out. I went missing but not dead. Su Wanqing, through the psionic link, could still feel a faint presence, like an echo across countless layers of the universe. But she couldn't find it. I left no trace in the void either. Su Wanqing arranged for a successor to become the supreme leader. 1 year later, the galaxy was pacified. The Commonwealth at one end of the galaxy no longer existed. The remaining civilizations were conquered or submitted. The surrendered fallen empires became vassals. The silver powder left by the ashes was collected as a top-tier nanomaterial. The Human Federation officially ruled the galaxy. The quantum slingshot network spread to every corner of the galaxy. The Skyfire God weapon was sealed away as the ultimate deterrent. Divine judgment allowed the remaining alien civilizations to accept the Human Federation's order at a soul level. The universe gathered for trade. The network covers every star system. Zhao Shui became the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Grand Marshal retired to Earth to grow flowers. Dyed Blood Chi Su leads genetic and psionic research. The 5th generation of genetic medicine is under development. The well-known Elven Psionic Envoy became the most elite Special Forces unit. The cosmic gathering that illuminates the sky became the largest commercial organization in the galaxy. But everyone is waiting for me to come back. One day, 2 years later, Su Wanqing was handling affairs in the command center. The psionic link is weak. The sense of existence suddenly became clear. The space in the command center distorted. Not the blue light of a quantum slingshot. Not the flicker of an interstellar engine. But a phenomenon never seen before. The space rippled like water. Person walked out. It was me. And there was something indescribable in my eyes. That's the look of someone who's seen the birth and death of universes. The kind of gaze you'd only have. You're back. After the wormhole collapsed, I was trapped in a place that didn't belong to this universe. There were no stars there. No planets. No matter. Only the rules themselves. It took me 2 years to understand those rules. And then, I reached out my hand. A tiny orb of light appeared in my palm. Stars were born within it. Suns burned. Planets spun. Civilizations awakened and perished. I learned to rewrite them. A natural disaster is a natural disaster. I ended it. The system gave me a thought. You rewrote a fundamental rule of the universe. What did you rewrite? I chuckled softly. I rewrote entropy. The law of entropy. Every system in the universe moves from order to disorder. Stars will eventually die out. Civilizations will inevitably perish. The universe will inevitably succumb to heat death. It's one of the universe's most fundamental rules. Stars will never go out. Civilizations will no longer decline due to energy depletion. The lifespan of the entire universe has become infinite. We have unlimited time now to do everything we want to do. The command center door was pushed open. Zhao Shui, Grand Marshal, Ranqiu, Jiayu, Wanyao, Zhao Tian. One familiar face after another flooded in. The news spread quickly. They immediately returned. The communication channel erupted. The cheers of 15 billion compatriots came from every corner of the galaxy. I stood among them. I was reminded of 15 years ago, standing alone on the ruins of Earth, facing 4 billion enemies, remembering 10,000 never-before-seen ships arrayed for the first time, remembering Zhao Shui's tears when she found me after traversing the star sea for 10 years, remembering the blue light of the quantum slingshot tearing through space, remembering the magnificent shattering of planets under the meteor shower of the heavenly punishment, remembering within the virtual mirror, the desperate fight to the death with the point of emptiness, remembering in Grey Valley at the starting point, the fear and despair when the last layer of shield shattered, from a Class C civilization to the Lord of the Galaxy, from a mortal to nearly a god, from wired to wireless, only 15 years in a blink. The galaxy is just the beginning. I turned to face everyone. My voice clearly echoed throughout the entire galaxy. You say it's so big? Our journey has only just begun. Our journey has only just begun.